From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Give us a call. The number is 208-991-4783, and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your financial support. And I especially want to thank Laura, who sent along a nice donation. And as we do with all donations of $7 or more, we'll be sending Laura access to our premium site. Well, I also want to mention, I did a brief count of the shows we have in terms of how many episodes we have left of each. And what I found is that we have 41 episodes of The Adventures of Frank Race. We have 4 of Leonidas Witherall. We have 36 of Let George Do It. We have 47 of Sherlock Holmes. And we have 35 more weeks of the pre-Bob Bailey Johnny Dollar. All right, well, just providing that as an FYI, it's time now for today's episode of The Adventures of Frank Race. This one is called The Instanbul Adventure.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins. The war changed many things, the face of the earth and the people on it. Before the war, Frank Race worked as an attorney. But he traded his law books for the cloak and dagger of the OSS. And when it was over, his former life was over, too. Adventure had become his business. The Adventures of Frank Race. And now we join Frank Race for the Instanbul Adventure.
There are men who'll tell you they've seen the city die. And it's hard to find argument for their words. The population has dwindled to half between the wars. Their trade has dried to a trickle. But somehow, with a wet night engulfing crooked streets and shadowy bazaars, I was feeling the old exhilaration, the expectant sense of violence. There's always Istanbul.
Here, this doorway.
Yeah, rather close.
You're very helpful.
Cigarette?
Yes, thank you.
Light? Mm-hmm.
What is it?
I'm intrigued. A woman comes out in the night. A woman pursued the bullets. She turns out to be lovely.
If you don't mind, I must go.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll go with you.
No, please.
Oh, now look, tomorrow I'm leaving Turkey, but tonight you need help.
It's not for me. It's for a friend. A friend who's in trouble, an American like yourself.
American?
He's hurt, badly hurt. I think he's dying.
Well, let's get him a doctor.
That's why I'm trying to get out of this sector. I know a physician who will go to him.
I'll get you out. Come on.
Wait, listen. They come back.
stay. Here, let me get clear. Move behind me. Yeah.
Hey, Ray!
Oh.
And I thought I knew my way around. This is worse than driving a hack in Boston.
Yeah, it's all right. His name's Donovan. He's Brooklyn Irish and to us harmless.
Hey, what goes on? Where are you, Frank?
Right here. Where have you been?
Oh, where have I been, he wants to know. I am out with a man just because he wants to go walking and he disappears. Where have I been?
I happened to turn up a side street while you were gaping in some window. I imagined you'd follow.
What do you say we start grinding back at the hotel, huh? Even with this slicker on, I'm beginning to feel like a blotter. Hey, who's this?
And come to think of it, we don't know each other's name, do we? I'm Frank Race.
I'm Lisa Kruger.
What's the story, Ray?
Well, I don't know all of it, Mark. But there's an American nearby who needs medical help. We're going to get him a doctor. There are people around here who might try to stop us.
And you talked me out of bringing along my end wrench.
From another section of the city, Liesl made a phone call. Within 15 minutes, we were joined with a physician. He was young and tall and dark, with a face you felt you could believe in. Liesl introduced him as Dr. Amarand.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you for helping Liesl. I believe we shall manage all right now.
It might be harder getting back into that sector than it was getting out. We'd better stick with you. The rain had stopped, and with it had gone the freshness of the night. With no wind stirring, the street smelled fetid, oppressive. There was no lift to the blackness, and you got the feeling of continually being about to walk into something. Then there was a gate. Beyond it, a small light coming from what looked like a stable. Mark and I were asked to wait, and the other two left us.
You know, I wonder if we're going to get a chance to cancel them reservations.
What reservations?
In the boat.
Why should we want to cancel them?
Race, I got to look at that girl. You won't be taking no boat tomorrow. Which, to me, is kind of sad.
Here she comes.
Come, Race. Want your pen? I told the American about you, Race. He wants to talk to you.
He is too weak to say much, Mr. Race. If you will kneel down.
What's his name, Doctor?
Dwyer. Johnny Dwyer.
Hi, Johnny.
Hiya, fella. Where are you from?
I work out of New York. I was born in Indiana.
Hey, sounds like home. I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Who hurt you, Johnny?
Some bad ones, fella. Pulling a bad deal. Liesl and Doc will tell you they're great people.
He'd better not speak anymore.
On the candle!
Come out of it, Race. Come out of it, will you? Oh, that's better.
Oh. What happened to me?
Well, you won't need to part your hair for a while, not the way that slug creased your head.
Where's Liesl? And the doctor?
I guess they got away. The doc got in a lick, too, hey? One of them visitors is as dead as a smoked herring.
What about Johnny? Johnny Dwyer?
He's dead, too, Frank. I don't know what these people are playing, but it ain't post office, Frank. It ain't post office.
As Mark had prophesied, we missed our boat because I went looking for Liesl. I spent almost a week at it before giving up, after which I lapsed into an inertia of just lying around the hotel.
Look, I never knew you to get this low over a dame before. Why not think about other things, huh? Here, I brought up a telegram for you.
Yeah, read it to me.
All right. Hey, who is Anthony Woolwine?
Tony Woolwine. He's an executive for Intercontinental Enterprises.
Yeah, well, he wants to see you. Urgent.
Well, that means you get your wish about Fifth Avenue.
Don't sound like New York to me. This is from France. Someplace called Cannes.
Cannes. It's on the Riviera, not far from Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo? Where all that high-powered gambling goes on?
The same.
Oh, no kidding. Well, look, if it's all right with you, I just as soon postpone seeing Fifth Avenue for a little while.
Tony Woolwine. A nice guy who always seemed to be where there was sunshine. At Cannes, he had everything to go with the climate. Rambling villa, lots of ground around it, lots of swimming pool taking up the ground. He greeted me in bathing trunks and a tan that made everything about him seem brown but his grin.
It may look like a holiday, Frank, but I'm not over here just for laughs.
I've been wondering why you sent for me.
Tomorrow you embark on a dirty job.
Oh, that's fair warning. Thanks.
Do you mind if I make a personal observation?
Go ahead. You got me under your spell.
You don't seem to have your usual eye out for the ladies. And here I've been thinking that this crop I gathered was unusually bounteous.
Yeah, with your usual discernment, you've provided both quantity and quality. I've noticed. Particularly that bit of symmetry near the dining board.
In the black suit? Ah, that's better. Now I'll stop fretting. Oh, there's somebody I want you to meet. Chuck?
Yeah?
Come on over here. It's a flyer I'd like to have you know. You like him. He's offered to help us out on this task I mentioned.
Hi.
Chuck, I want you to know Frank Race. Chuck Farrell, Frank Race.
Oh,
Farrell,
how do you do?
how are you?
And I am Liesel Kruger.
She stood there quietly, utterly composed. An exquisite figure in a black bathing suit. She had been the one who'd drawn my comment, the one by the diving board. She looked young, younger than she had in Istanbul, and her loveliness in the stare of the sun was something to take the breath out of you.
Where, oh, where did we find this? Woowine, you've been holding out on us. Hey, look beautiful.
We thought you were dead, Race, when we saw you go down with the blood all over your face.
Blood all over.
You got away all right? You and the doctor?
Hammeran's arm was broken by a bullet. We got away. We couldn't have done it had not you and your friend been there to confuse him.
I realize this must be some sort of a reunion,
Is Race the man you were telling me of, Tony?
Well, yes, Race is the man.
You mean there's a tie-up here somewhere?
Well, my side of it is purely insurance. The company's had to pay off claims on 3 large shipments of food, clothing, and medical supplies coming to Europe from the United States. We don't want to have to refuse insurance on future shipments, but naturally we can't keep that up. So we've got to solve the problem.
I take it these shipments weren't lost at sea.
Liesel, now it's your turn.
Well, it's the same thing that has been choking Europe to death for so long, Race. Black market. Last year it seems to have come under the control of one organization. All over the continent.
Is this what you've been fighting? You and Dr. Amaran?
Yes. To Americans, the black market might seem vicious. But I'm sure it seems impersonal, a blight that doesn't really touch. But with us, well, I had a brother. All I had left of my family. And a year ago he became ill of pneumonia. I was assured that if he received penicillin, he would live.
It's usually effective.
I got him the penicillin, Race. At a price very hard for me to pay. I got him the penicillin. But he died at the age of 19.
Oh, I'm sorry, Liesel.
He died because the drug was worthless.
What happened to those shipments that were lost?
Destroyed. Cargo, train, and crew. Nothing left each time but smoldering ashes.
I don't get it. What happened to him?
The black market would have stolen those shipments, but they knew it would be too difficult. So they destroyed them. Nobody knows how, because the train crews are always killed. And then the black marketeers get their high prices with shoddy clothes and bad food and synthetic medicine.
Sounds like a rough bunch.
Race knows how rough they can be. He saw some of their work in Istanbul.
There'll be 2 more trains going through this month. One on the 19th, the other on the 27th.
They must not be destroyed, Race. Listen to me. There is an epidemic of diphtheria breaking out through the western portion of France. Unless those trains get through with diphtheria toxides, thousands of children are going to die.
We'll return to the adventures of Frank Race in about 1 minute. And now, back to the adventures of Frank Race.
The coastline of the Riviera is like no other place in the world. But for me, Liesel Kruger made it even more glamorous. Glamour. It was a quality she would carry with her wherever she went. heightening it with her beauty and a willingness to involve herself in lethal danger for a cause without profit.
There's no other spot like this race. For me, that is. You've probably seen other places just as lovely. Just as...
As lovely? Yes. As unique? Not quite.
Oh, it's such a beautiful eve.
Liesl,
Yes, Race?
how do I get my teeth into this fight of yours? Where do I start?
Amran. Amran can tell you more about it even than I.
Where is he?
In Toulon. He would be happy to see you.
You seem very close, you and the doctor.
Well, when two persons share the dangers we have shared, there will naturally be a bond. But I'm not in love with him. If that is what you mean.
Why do you do it, Liesl?
Why do I fight? That was my brother. And I suppose there's something else. Something that would be hard to put into words. You should know. You have the same feeling.
Well, I get paid for what I do.
Oh, you always get paid. Who paid you for helping us in Istanbul?
Get out of it, Liesl. Let Amaran fight them. Let me fight them. But you get out of it.
Why do you say that?
We stood facing one another. And over my shoulder, the moonlight spotlighted the terrific face of hers, with its provocative lips and frame of thick, lustrous hair. I didn't grab her. I reached for her gently. Everything took time out for a while.
I meant that, Race.
So did I. And I'm asking you again to pull out of this business.
Race, I can't. I've got to stay with it to the end. No matter what the end may be.
You awake yet, Frank?
Yeah, come in.
You're being invaded.
What's up?
We thought you might like to look the country over from the air. How long will it take you to dress?
A quarter of an hour. Where's the plane?
Oh, not more than 20 minutes from here.
Well, what have you got?
A salvage job I picked up. A P-47.
Some ship, Frank. Chuck thought he was getting a bargain when he bought that ice wagon. Lots of power, and he bought it for dimes. The payoff is that operating it will keep him in hock for the rest of his life.
P-47 adds up to a lot of planes.
I wouldn't have anything else. She pays her way.
Say, what's wrong with your hand, Chuck? When'd you do that?
Oh, I nicked it as I was gassing up the other day. It's a little swollen.
Little swollen. You'd better do something about it, Chuck.
Tomorrow. Today I want to fly.
Chuck, since this is just a tour of duty with no destination, would you like to drop me in Toulon for a couple of hours?
Toulon? Why, sure.
I'll be calling on a doctor there. We'll get him to take a look at that hand of yours. Amaran stared at me when he saw me. His left hand hung in a sling. One of his eyes was almost shut with a bruise that extended down the whole side of his face.
Race, but we thought that...
You thought I'd been killed, Liesl told me.
Liesl, you've seen her. Oh, why do we stand here? Come in.
She told me where to find you.
Huh?
I'm in this with you now, all the way. And there's an American insurance company behind me.
Oh, thank heaven. You cannot know how much we need help.
Tell me about Johnny Dwyer. Where did he fit in? What happened to him?
Well, he was, first of all, an idealist. So many of you Americans are. And he knew how to fight. So they murdered him.
What was he doing in Istanbul?
He'd learned too much. So the black marketeers chased him from here.
From Toulon? Is that why you're here?
Yes. Johnny Dwyer stayed at a quayside hotel there, a rat trap called the Charbonnier. Why he went there, Liesl and I never learned. Too many things happened too rapidly. But it was from the Charbonnier that they hounded him. First to Marseille, then to Rome, then to Istanbul. It was from Rome that we got his call for help and word to meet him in Turkey. You know what happened there.
The Hotel Charbonnier. I imagine they know you there.
Oh, I wish I could say I knew them as well.
You have no idea of an identity behind it?
Oh, nothing worth a sou. We've dealt with one or two, but they were no more than underlings. We learned nothing.
I'm going to take lodgings at the Hotel Charbonnier with a friend who was with me in Istanbul.
There must be a safer way.
But none quicker than I can see. And now, I wonder if I may ask a favor of you.
Anything.
The pilot who flew me over here has a bad hand, infection. Oh, we should look at it.
He is here with you?
He remained in his plane, but I've got a cab outside.
Well, then let us go to him.
We found Chuck Farrell leaning against the fuselage of his P-47. In his hand, a silver flask with which he waved at us as we came up. Amaran, smiling as I introduced them, tightened his lips seriously when he saw the hand. Made a clinic of the 47's cockpit, taking Chuck's temperature and otherwise thoroughly checking his patient's condition.
You have absorbed quite a little alcohol lately, huh?
Oh, I guess I've been doing all right. Why? Come on, Doc. Brief me on this.
When did you have an inoculation for tetanus last?
Never had one that I know of.
You were not in your army?
No. Do I have tetanus coming on?
It's possible.
Bad, huh?
Since you have received no toxoids, then I can bolster an inoculation with antitoxin. It's indicated.
Well, then let's have it. Will it make me sick?
It may not, depending on your sensitivity to it. You should not fly this plane.
Oh, ever been checked out in a P-47 race?
Yeah.
Good. Then you can ferry us back.
Well, possibly Dr. Amaran will come over and check your condition in a day or so.
Of course. And when will you keep the rendezvous we discussed?
As soon as I can pry Mark Donovan loose from those Monte Carlo gaming tables. There are parks and promenades in Toulon, all handsome. There's the view of the sea. There's the cathedral, other old churches, and a fine town hall. Not far from its docks, on a crooked street, forgotten by all but the police, and a few citizens who would prefer that the police also forgot it, stands the Hotel Charbonnier, as dubious a hostel as you'll find anywhere along the Mediterranean.
I will say just one thing. If I'd have known I was leaving Monte Carlo for this, honest race, I think I'd have run out on you.
Now, cheer up, Mark. You'll find after a while the place grows on you.
Yeah, something's been growing on me. And it ain't my disposition. I could only get me a cup of coffee.
Why don't you look around?
I've been looking around. There's wine everywhere. You can wade in this stuff, but not one drop of coffee. I gotta find some somewhere. Hey, a note under the door.
Let me have it.
Where's it from?
Dr. Amaran. He wants me to go to him at once. Something urgent. You wait here.
Oh, come inside, Race.
What is it? Trouble?
Worse than that. Tragedy. Look over there.
Liesel! She's been hurt. What is it, Amaran? What happened to her?
She's dying, Race. She got here about an hour ago. She's been trying to tell me what happened, but she's had only strength enough to say your name.
You've got to save her.
I've done everything I can, Race. Talk to her. She will hear you. She wants to hear you.
I had a lot of things to say to her, but if she ever heard any of them, there was no sign. After a while, I gave it up and went back to the Hotel Charbonnier. There in the musty hallway.
Race.
What? No. It's you, Mark.
Come here, will you? Gotta have a look in here. I heard this morning that this place used to be a cafe, see? So I started poking around in the basement, thinking I might accidentally run across some coffee somewhere. Gotta move these crates first. And then this door. Can you squeeze through?
Yeah. What have you got?
Take a look at what I got. An arsenal. Rifles, pistols, submachine guns, even shells. Look at this one, will you?
Shell? That's no shell, Mark. That's a rocket.
What's the matter?
What a fool I've been. Chuck Farrell and his P-47.
What are you talking about?
P-47's Thunderbolts. Along with the British Typhoons, they were the top rocket-firing planes of the war. Rockets for knocking out tanks and trains. Trains, Mark, do you hear that?
Certainly, I hear it, but
Chuck Farrell, he destroyed the supply trains. And I've been eating with him, drinking with him, flying with him.
Wait a second.
What is it?
Someone out there. They must have found out what we're doing.
Here, then. Load this pistol. You're going out through that window up there. When you get clear, fire 2 shots, you understand? Then head for Woolwine. Tell him about this whole setup.
Now, wait a minute. You can boost me up to that window, but what about you? How you gonna get out of there?
Give me a foot and get going. Here.
Okay, I'm up.
Get clear to the street before you signal.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do?
Hold him off with this Tommy gun. Get going.
Okay, I'm going.
Okay, one more rush to get that door open. Race,
What can I do for you?
it's Chuck Farrell.
Nice to have you aboard.
That machine gun won't do you any good, Race. I've got a dozen boys here. We'll smoke you out if we have to.
Harold, listen.
All right, I'm listening.
You heard that shot?
Yeah, I heard it. So what?
That's a friend of mine, signaling that he's clear of here. He's going to Woolwine to tell him how you've been using that P-47 to destroy those trains with rockets.
All right, Race. I'm coming in. Alone. And empty-handed.
Make sure your people stay out.
Relax, Race. They're getting lost. With Woolwine knowing about the rockets, why should I sweat out a lost cause?
Always play the cool hand. Is that the philosophy, Farrell?
Why not? We'll work out other deals. I've made plenty of money and I've still got it. What can you do? Extradite me? Nuts. Of course, you might turn that chatterbox on me. But you're not the type for that, are you, Race?
I don't have to be, Chuck. You're all taken care of.
What do you mean?
You look sort of feverish.
What? Sure, I'm feverish. I've got tetanus. But I've been treated for it. You took care of that.
I know. I saw your doctor about an hour ago. He was trying to save the life of a lovely girl you murdered.
I didn't do that, Race.
You were part of it. The same way you've been part of murdering a lot of other people, including kids. But you finished, Chuck. Amaran said you weren't in shape for a bout with tetanus.
Stop trying to annoy me. I took that antitoxin, didn't I?
Dr. Amaran learned this morning that the antitoxin he gave you was worthless.
Worthless?
It was worthless because it came through your own black market channels. And there's none available that'll be effective. Not until a new supply arrives from America in 15 days. And in 15 days, Chuck, I have a feeling you won't be around.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins, came to you from Hollywood. The series is written and directed by Buckley Angel and Joel Murcott. The music is composed and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again this time, 1 week from today, for another dramatic chapter in The Adventures of Frank Race. Art Gilmore speaking. This is a Bruce Ells production.
Welcome back. Well, I have to say, an ending with quite a bit of poetic justice. One thing I loved about the adventure of Frank Race, in particular, just speaking of the episodes that I've heard, is that Race definitely has a very strong sense of justice, a kind of a carryover of the spirit of World War II. As he is making these decisions in case, it really is not all about the cash. And they did a great job, I think, setting up this as a true dramatic adventure and just a and bringing home, I think, a key point. And, I think that sometimes, moderns, we tend to scoff at some of the concerns about black markets and stuff, but as this episode showed, there was definitely something really to be concerned about and a huge impact on people's lives. Well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. Joan comments, of all the episodes of Frank Race, this one was the best. I just wanted to let you know. And that was regarding the Hackensack victory. Well, I was hoping not. I was hoping you were, because, I hate for the first episode to be the best one. So it's a matter of opinion. I personally like this one a bit more, and we'll see what else there is ahead. But thanks for the comment, Joan. And then Mary says, love the 2 new additions to the podcast. I've never heard either of these programs. Have you ever thought about broadcasting Bold Venture with Bogey and Bacall? And that's from Mary. And Mary did a typo and typed, instead of additions to the podcast, addictions. I think she may have been right the first time. But anyway, regarding Bold Venture, I love the show. It's one I've been listening to right now. There are about 57 episodes out there in circulation. As of this recording, I've heard 48 of them. I love Bogey and Bacall, but really that's the main reason to listen to it. The first part of the series, I think, is it's dominated by them constantly being taken advantage of. There is kind of a shift once you get into some of the later episodes past episode 40. A few of them are recognizable as reworked Broadway's My Beat. Not necessarily the same amount of mystery in them. But it's not really a detective show, so even though I love it, won't do it over here. But I've mentioned that I've thought of doing an OTR adventure podcast, and that may be a work. If that ever materializes, Bold Venture would certainly be on the list of shows we'd like to do for that. All right, well, that will actually do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Leonidas Witherall. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your support. I do want to mention to you, we've been enjoying Leonidas Witherall's adventures. I wanted to mention that the books are being reissued for the Kindle. So far, they've done the first one, Beginning with a Bash, as well as the last book in the series, called The Iron Clue. So you can pick those up for your Kindle. I do want to let you know that we're going to play today's episode, which is from September the 17th, 1944. And I offer as a disclaimer, this is probably my least favorite episode of the series, but we play them all. So we'll go ahead and we will take a listen to The Reunion.
Keep your eyes on the screen, gentlemen. This is a marvelous action shot of that run for a touchdown. Here it comes.
Turn on the light. Quickly, turn on the lights. Stop the picture. It's the man in front of me. He's been stabbed.
WOR Mutual presents the distinguished American actor Walter Hampden in The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall. Leonidas Witherall's always getting mixed up in murder.
Well, you wouldn't think so. He looks just like Shakespeare.
It's his beard, and he's head of an important school for boys in New England.
He also writes thriller stories on the side, the Lieutenant Hazeltine stories.
And being headmaster of an important school for boys, Witherall is often called upon to preside at school functions, isn't he, Mr. Hampden?
Yes. The class of 1925 has gathered for an alumni dinner on the Meredith campus. Although being the life of the party isn't exactly to Witherall's taste, inevitably he has been chosen as master of ceremonies, and inevitably, too, there's the horrible necessity of an after-dinner speech. Gentlemen, with us this evening are the members of that immortal backfield famous in Meredith's football history, The Four Killers. There's Dick Underwood, who's become a world-famous publisher. His magazines and newspapers are so numerous, I doubt if even he could name them all.
I became a world-famous publisher, Witherall, yes. And how and why is a different story. The other three men here know that story. I hope Witherall doesn't dwell on me too long. Brings too many memories. It's very dangerous.
Dick first got his start in the publishing world with Sam Graves, I believe. He and Sam were inseparable on the campus, co-editors of the Meredith Bulletin, and Sam always ran interference for Dick on the football field.
Inseparable on the campus. Best friends in the world. Witherall doesn't know about that afternoon in Dick's office, that rainy afternoon 5 years ago.
Get out, Sam. Get out before I have you thrown out.
You'll see me, Dick. You'll sit right there at that fancy desk of yours and keep your mouth shut while I tell you something.
I know just what you want to say. You've had a dirty deal. But what of it? You want me to sing hearts and flowers?
No, I just want to tell you that when you forced me out of this juicy business of yours, I knew exactly what you were doing. I knew what was going on, but I needed the money, so I had to sell my stock to you.
Is that all that's on your mind?
I built every magazine you own. I stayed up till 2 a.m. every night for months, editing, developing ideas, and making up dummies. Why, it was through me that you got control of every newspaper you have.
Well, you've no kick coming. I paid you for the stock.
Maybe I have no claim in court. What I have against you is just a matter of ordinary human decency. That's more important.
Maybe it is, in your scheme of things. You're wasting my time, Sam.
I came back to tell you, Dick, that someday I'll catch up with you. You can't take 20 years' work from a man and then brush him off with a little check for a couple of shares of stock.
I knew we should have had some sad music.
You'll get your sad music. I'll see to that.
I suppose that's your subtle way of saying you're going to get even. You were always so obvious, Sam.
Just as soon as I can arrange it, you're going to have that sad music. Funeral music.
Yes, Dick and Sam have been an inspiring example of how strong and lasting a friendship can become, especially when founded in the formative days, I'd almost said halcyon days of school life. We've spoken of 2 members of the Four Killers, but we mustn't overlook the others. There's Harry Bellows. Harry's ambition was to be a lawyer, and what a prominent member of the bar he has become. Yes, the third member of our Four Killers has found his measure of glory.
I'm a very successful lawyer, Witherall, but a miserable failure otherwise, because of my dear friend, Dick. Dick Underwood, the giant of the publishing field. He stole Jeanette from me. Coming back from Bermuda, I remember so well, on the cruise ship, in this cabin.
I tell you can't do this to Jeanette, Dick.
We went all through that before I married her, Harry.
You were supposed to be a very close friend of mine. We trusted each other. At least I trusted you.
Now, look, I'm married to Jeanette now, and what happens between us is none of your business.
Harry, I thought you'd be in here. Please, I don't know what you said, but it's hopeless. Just leave us alone, won't you?
Have you been out on deck blabbing to him again about how I treat you?
She doesn't have to. Anybody can see that she's a nervous wreck. I wanted to kill you when you first stole her from me.
There isn't anything you can do, Harry. You're just infuriating yourself. And me.
That's right. Tell him that again. Of course, Jeanette, you could leave me. I'd keep Dick Jr. As a matter of fact, you two may have given me grounds for divorce.
You see, Harry, you're only making trouble.
Dick, I know what you're doing to Jeanette's mind, to her emotions.
I thought you were a lawyer, not a psychologist.
It was bad enough when you took her away from me. Now I have to stand by and watch you ruin her life.
Harry, please go.
I'd just love to beat some sense into you.
Go on, try it. I'll split your head open.
Stop it! Stop it! Oh, it's no use, Harry. Don't you understand that? You can't change him. And I wouldn't leave my son.
I'll give you just 60 seconds to get out of this cabin and then...
Never mind. I'll go. But I'll provide the finish to this, Dick. A very bloody finish it'll be, too.
Let me quote from my favorite poet. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. Yes, gentlemen, Harry Bellows has become a brilliant lawyer, and I imagine he owes much of his success to the warmth and encouragement of Dick's friendship. And now, the 4th member of our incomparable football combination. He's here, too, Jack Gregory. Jack's become a superb artist, and I think it was Dick Underwood who first inspired him to paint. Dick believed in Jack. Dick helped him.
Dick was very helpful. Yes, he did everything he could for me. For instance, when I came to his apartment that night, it was 3 in the morning.
Dick, I'm awfully sorry to bust in like this. I know it's terribly late, but this is so important.
What's the matter? You in trouble?
It's my brother. May I come in?
Yes, it is.
You've met Tommy, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so. About 17, isn't he?
That's right. Our parents died when we were very young. I've had to work. I never had the chance to, well, sort of look after Tommy.
You didn't come here at 3 o'clock in the morning to tell me your family history, did you?
Give me a chance, won't you?
Go on.
Well, Tommy's kind of a wild kid now.
Come on.
Last night, he and 2 other boys stole a bracelet from the jewelry store.
Well, your brother sounds to me like a plain, ordinary crook.
He's home. He hasn't had the right friends. A kid his age gets involved so easily. The gang would probably call him yellow if he didn't go with them on a job like that.
What of it? What'd you come here for?
I need money.
Oh.
The jeweler said he wouldn't prosecute if we paid for the broken window, a new lock, and give him cash for his insurance. The rate will go up, you see.
Well?
Well, I'm not working now. I used my last cent to pay the rent. The whole thing comes to $100. Would you give it to me, Dick? I've got a swell possibility, a job that's coming up next month.
Next month? You might not get a job for a year. We're in a depression, you know.
$100 wouldn't mean a thing to you, Dick. But it'd keep my brother out of jail.
Sorry, Jack, your credit isn't very good.
I never thought you'd put it to me on a business basis.
You're asking for money, aren't you? That's business. You're not working. Probably won't get a job for a long time.
I'm trying every day.
Looks like a bad investment.
You mean a boy's life is either a good cash investment or it isn't? Is that what you want to say?
Now, please, let's not go into abstraction. You're asking for a loan, and I'm turning you down.
If my brother gets locked up, he's through. He's licked.
That's his business. Haven't you asked your other friends? Somebody maybe who's a little more sentimental?
Most of my friends are broke. The loan companies turned me down because I'm unemployed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to risk good money just because your brother's a crazy kid without enough sense to keep out of trouble. The answer is no.
All right. I won't beg.
Well, I'm going to bed.
Dick, how about half of it? Would you give me a start, give me a chance? Say $50?
If I wanted to risk 50, I'd risk 100. Good night, Jack.
You'll forget about this in a few minutes. But I won't. I'll remember it as long as I live. And if my brother goes to jail, Dick, and comes out the way I think he will, you'll pay for it, all right. The hard way.
Yes, Jack probably owes a lot to Dick Underwood. And Dick, in his turn, was inspired by Jack to dare and to do. I think the magnificent friendship between all the 4 killers is a symbol of the whole class of 25. Of course, while these 4 men were in the spotlight, we all know one other gentleman was in large part responsible for their brilliant record on the football field. Yes, in every game they played, they were supported by that sturdy tackle, Curly Foster.
Hey, Curly, how are you, Curly?
Curly Foster is the eminent Dr. Foster now. But I'll wager the good doctor hasn't forgotten the old days here at Meredith, the days of his comradeship with Dick Underwood.
I haven't forgotten Meredith, no. Because it was here that Dick learned to despise me. Here that he planned his vengeance, a vengeance I didn't know about or expect until after I finished my internship. Then, that night in the executive office of the hospital...
Dick, wait a minute. I want to talk to you.
Oh, hello, Curly. What's on your mind?
Sit down. I've been trying to reach you all week.
Look, I have a dinner engagement.
It'll keep. This won't take long.
Well, what is it?
Last Friday, I was dropped out of research.
Oh, really? Well, what a shame. Well, you can always go into some other field.
I was dropped out of research on account of you.
Me? Oh, don't be silly. What did I have to do with it?
You're a director of this hospital, and what you say goes. I found out that you killed my appointment to work under Dr. Manson.
Well, I did nothing of the sort, old boy. I merely...
You did it a cheap way, too. You didn't come out in the open and say you disapproved. No, you made remarks about me, about my personality, about my ability. You told a couple of rotten lies about me, too. And everyone believed them, because you're the great Magoo around here.
Well, frankly, you do have kind of a jittery personality, Curly, and I didn't think that you were quite the man for the job.
I became a doctor so I could do research. This is going to make it impossible for me to get into research anywhere else. Oh, I'll never be able to live down being dropped here, and I can never in my life stop those stories. Do you know what that can do to someone trying to start out in medicine? Do you know I might as well take the 10 years I put into this and toss them out the window? Telling me I can't do research is like cutting off my right hand.
Oh, don't exaggerate, Curly. I'm not going to endanger the success of the department with an unpredictable man.
I had the highest rating in my graduating class. Mansfield said he was looking forward to working with me.
Well, we all have our little setbacks.
I knew you were a four-flusher ever since you were 15.
Why?
I was the only kid in Meredith who had you down for what you were, and you loathed me for it.
You'll never be much as a doctor, Curly. You're too excitable. Too many fantastic ideas.
Get this, Dick. Last Friday, you blew my career up in smoke. You started something when you did that, and I'm going to have the last word. The very last word.
Yes. Dick was a director of the hospital where Curly Foster served his internship, and I'm sure that there he was a source of hope and real assistance as Dr. Foster began his life's work. Now, before we go on speaking of other personalities for you, from Sam Gray.
You want to show the picture now, Mr. Witherall?
Yes, Sam. Sam's not only been very active as a publisher, you know, but he's quite an amateur scientist and a photography expert. He has the motion picture scenes of the campus back in the 20s. Highlights of the 4 killers in action.
Yes, I have the projection machine set up right back there. We can start at any time.
Have you got the Digby game, Sam?
Oh, you will see shots of every game we played, Harry.
Well, I never knew that you took pictures, Sam.
There are lots of things about me you didn't know, Dick. Wait till I focus this thing.
Can I help you, Sam?
No, Jack, sit down. There's nothing to it. Lights out, please. Has to be pitch black in here.
Go ahead. Stop the show.
Right. Now, I'll explain the picture as we go along. If I have to stand in back of this machine. If my voice sounds muffled or funny, let me know, and I'll try to talk louder. You'll hear some music later. I had a sound record dubbed with a film. Wait till I get that turning. Okay. There are the 4 killers. There you are, Dick.
Well, look at me. Screwy uniforms we had, weren't they?
There you are, Harry.
Yeah, we're number 13. That's their good old 13.
And back, the smiling quarterback, remember?
I think I look like a toothpaste ad.
Now, here's the Digby game. Watch closely. Dick pulls a spinner and goes about 20 yards. Hey, you see that?
Boy, hey, I remember that now.
Now the crowd stands up and cheers. He's going down the line. Down the... Wait. Stop everything.
What's wrong?
Turn on the lights. Quickly, turn on the lights. It's Dick. I saw a shadow standing over him with a knife.
I'll switch the light on. There we are.
Dick. He's been stabbed.
Somebody stabbed him while you were showing the picture, Sam.
I think he's dead.
Oh, no, that's incredible. I'm afraid you're right, Jack. He's dead.
But I can't believe it. Stabbed in the back.
Dr. Foster, will you take a look at him?
Maybe he's still alive.
Now, step aside, will you? Let's see him. Knife went through his back and penetrated his heart.
Oh, that's the
Gentlemen, Doctor, you telephone the police?
I will, Mr. Witherall. I'll use the phone down the hall.
I don't think you should have sent for the police, Mr. Witherall. Not yet, anyway.
Well, why not, Sam?
Well, Dick was a very prominent man. There'll be a terrible uproar if the newspapers find out that he's been murdered. It might be smarter to think first what we'll say, how much we'll tell them.
Besides, we've all got reputations to worry about. I agree with Sam. I think we should lock the doors and try to work this out ourselves. If you make this public, everyone would be subjected to rumors, suspicions, accusations. We can't let that happen.
I think you and Sam are covering up, Jack.
You're a lawyer, Harry. I presume you've some basis for saying that.
I don't see why we shouldn't turn it over to the police immediately, that's all.
You have a reputation for being mixed up in murders, Mr. Witherall.
Yes, mixed up, thoroughly mixed up.
But you've solved some killing.
Oh, I've merely helped the solution along. As the gentleman they say I resemble has written, murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organs.
Maybe you can help work this one out.
Yes. Ordinarily, I'd prefer that the police handle it, but since we're at Meredith and you're all alumni...
You're liable to get that beard of yours into a lot of trouble.
It's a very durable beard and has come safely through many perils. Well, I'll do what I can till the police arrive. Will you please be quiet, gentlemen, and remain seated? Now, let's see. Dick was sitting there in that chair. Harry, you were...
I was behind him.
Oh, I see. Behind him. And Jack?
I was to his left.
to his left.
I was working the projection machine back there.
Well, that'd eliminate you, Sam. Looks as though either Jack or I were guilty then, doesn't it?
No, there are a dozen other men in this room. In that pitch darkness, anyone could have walked up behind Dick and plunged a knife into his back.
Just the same, I think it was one of the four of us. The four killers.
You mean one of the four killers has taken the title literally?
I called the police. They're on the way over.
Yes, thank you, Doctor.
Have you seen Dick lately, Curly?
Yes, he was guest speaker at a medical dinner I attended a month ago.
Maybe your theory about it being one of the four killers isn't right, Harry.
You're not implying that I stabbed Dick, are you?
Oh, anyone in the room could have. Harry, you seem rather convinced that Dick Underwood was murdered by one of the remaining members of the famous quartet.
Now, look, Mr. Witherall. Everything you said tonight, about all of us, I mean.
Oh, Harry, now don't start that.
Go on. I don't think anything should be concealed now.
All right, the four of us, Dick, Sam, and Jack, and myself. We weren't the happy little group you described. Not at all. We hated Dick.
And I thought I'd made such a moving speech. However, let us see if murder will find its tongue and speak.
I'm a lawyer, Mr. Witherall. I know just how much can be brought out by questioning. I don't see any point in everyone's being coy. I despise Dick because he took away the girl I loved and married her, and then made her miserable. Jeanette, that's Dick's wife. She's in the sanatorium now. Nervous breakdown, they call it.
You seem to be working yourself up to breakdown.
Well, wouldn't you be in my place? Now, besides Jeanette, there's the fact that you may accuse me of murder.
You specialize in worrying about things before they happen?
Why are the two of you so quiet? You hiding something?
I have nothing to hide. I'll tell my story.
Good.
Witherall, if we go on, we'll reveal some mighty unpleasant things.
Yes. You were saying, Jack...
Dick turned me down when I wanted money to keep my brother out of prison. He could have spared it easily. My brother died a year later in jail.
I'm a introductory remark.
I swore I'd kill Dick for that. I'm glad he died. And I'm sorry I didn't have the honor of getting him out of the way.
It seems that Dick was even more attractive than I pictured him. Both of you wanted to kill him, eh?
Go on, Sam. Go on. You haven't spoken yet.
I don't intend to. I'll talk when I'm questioned by the authorities.
Listen, you. If you've got something to say, get it over with. We want to know who killed Dick, and we want to know fast.
Go on, Sam. Or shall I tell some of the story myself about how you worked for 20 years for Dick, and then he chiseled you
a third motive, huh? We're moving toward our objective faster than the four of you on the gridiron. Too fast, perhaps. Sam, I was thinking we should first show that film again.
What is it? Oh, there's no sense to that.
You want us to turn out the lights and give the killer another chance to murder somebody?
Why, imagine the killer was after Dick. I don't think he's going to repeat the performance unless, of course, he was so dazzled by his first job that he feels obliged to provide an encore.
Why do you insist on showing the film again? I'll only have to rewind it and go through a rigmarole.
I want to see the film again because of something curious.
What's that?
While you were talking, Sam, in the dark, explaining the pictures, I heard a ticking sound.
Well, what of it?
Well, when the lights went on, I noticed there isn't any clock in this room.
Oh, I don't want to run through that film again. It's a silly nuisance.
Sam, run the film again.
You don't think I had anything to do with the murder, do you? Why, I was standing in back of the projector. You heard me talking every second while that film was on.
Run the film and stop stalling.
Just because somebody heard ticking...
I'm going to examine the film eventually. You might as well clear it up now.
I'll put it on if he won't.
All right, okay. I'll rewind it. Grease and dust all over my hands fooling with this gadget.
You think that idea you have will lead us to the killer, Mr. Witherall?
You? I mean, when the lights go out and we see the film, since you seem to be on his trail, whoever killed Dick's liable to have a go at you.
A go at me? Well, I'll have to take that chance.
Well, all right, the film's ready. I'm not going to run the whole business again, just the first part.
Sam, I'd appreciate it if you would run the entire sequence just as it appeared when Dick Underwood was stabbed.
Okay. Lights out. Now, here goes. There are the four killers. There we are. There you are, Dick.
Dick?
There you are.
You crazy, Sam? What'd you say that for? Dick's lying there dead.
There you are, Dick. There you are, Dick.
What's wrong with you,
there
Sam?
You are,
what are you
Dick.
talking that way for?
The sound record is stuck, gentlemen, just as the film is.
The sound record?
Yes, if you turn on the lights, I can explain. Rotten luck, eh, Sam? To have planned your murder so successfully, so carefully, only to have the sound record stick.
Sam killed Dick?
I'll find the light switch. Wait. Here we are. Look at Sam.
Look! slumped over the machine. He's been stabbed. He's dead.
Yes, the murderer did provide an encore.
Oh, but look.
It's Dick. I saw a shadow standing. It's Dick. I saw a shadow standing. It's Dick. I saw a shadow standing.
Sam's dead, but I still hear his voice.
I saw
Turn
a
off
shadow
the film.
standing.
Stop the
I saw
soundtrack.
it.
Doctor, same story?
Same story. Stabbed in the back, knife penetrated the heart. Died in a split second.
Seems to be the work of a pretty trained hand.
Will you either accuse me directly or stop making remarks at my expense?
How could Sam keep on talking after he died?
Well, he was a very clever amateur scientist, remember? It's obvious he recorded his description of the film on that soundtrack. He had a double track, you see. One that would seem innocent enough when played. And the other was a recording he made of his own voice. He thought that would give him a perfect excuse. He could say he was standing by the machine talking, while actually he was creeping in the dark toward Dick to stab him. He had it all planned, you see, even to the point of discovering the murder he'd just committed. I'll turn on the sound. Listen to the dead man speak.
It's Dick. I saw a shadow standing over him with a knife. It's Dick.
See?
What was that ticking noise?
Oh, it happens very often. He made his record in a room where there was a clock, but he didn't notice it. He even went to the trouble of apologizing for what might seem to be a strange voice quality. Do you remember that?
All that work, and he never got to kill Dick anyway. Or did he?
No, confound it, I was wrong. Sam's elaborate mechanism took me up a blind alley. I seem to have been the true expert. I avoided the small errors as I swept on to the grand fallacy. Evidently, Sam started toward Dick, but reached him too late. The real murderer, who killed both of these men, got there first.
And who is the real murderer?
Well, when Sam was behind Dick, he bumped into the killer. Couldn't see him, of course, but he could touch him in the dark. Then the killer, knowing Sam had spotted him, took advantage of our second showing of the film to silence poor Sam. Gentlemen, I have a rather strange request to make.
What do you want? What do you want?
Would you all remove your coats and pass them to me?
We'll cooperate any way we can. Here's mine.
Thank you, Doctor.
Is this another tremendous idea like showing the film again? Another blind alley?
I'd appreciate your coat, Harry.
Yeah, all right. Here. Here's mine.
Jack?
Here's mine. All right, take mine.
Now, that'll do nicely, gentlemen.
What are you looking for?
Yes, what's the idea?
Well, if you look at the late Sam's hands, they're grimy, as he said, soiled, covered with grease and dust from operating the projector. It occurred to me, if he did touch the murderer in the dark, groping toward Dick, there'd be a spot on the murderer's coat from Sam's hand.
Did you find a spot on someone's coat?
Yes, I did. On someone.
On whose?
The answer to that question.
Okay. Who put in that call?
I did.
Those two bodies been moved, or were they just that way?
Just that way, officer.
Everybody in the room was around when they were stabbed?
Yes.
Okay. I got hold of Sergeant McCobble. He'll be here in a few minutes. Then we'll start the investigation.
You don't have to. Mr. Witherall knows who committed the murder.
Yes. Tell us, Mr. Witherall. On whose coat did you find the spot?
Jack, yours.
On Jack's.
Mm-hmm.
Watch him, officer.
Officer, you've two dead bodies and the murderer. Rather a well-tied package, eh?
Stay where you are, you.
I'm not going to try to escape or even alibi for what I did. I've only one thing to ask. When I go on trial, try me for Sam's murder, not Dick's. Sam's death was inexcusable. It was out-and-out murder. But Dick's, that was justice. Killing Dick was the only thing to do.
Perhaps, Jack, and perhaps not. For to quote the bearded poet I resemble, if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces.
Merchant of Venice. Act 1, Scene 2.
Correct, officer. What line?
Line? Number 13.
Here, officer, take my gavel. You're going to preside at the dinner.
Where are you going?
To walk your beat.
WOR Mutual has presented the distinguished American actor Walter Hampden in The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall. The character of Leonidas Witherall is from the mystery novels by Alice Tilton. The radio script is by Howard Merrill, and the program is directed by Roger Bauer. In next week's story, Leonidas attends a state fair, doesn't he, Mr. Hampden?
Yes, Leonidas borrows a horse and buggy and goes to the state fair with his friend, Mrs. Mullet, who has entered a jar of preserves in the state fair contest. Of course, at the fair, Witherall can't resist the shooting gallery.
Okay, step up. Every man his own commando. 10 shots per quarter. Try your skill. All right, mister. Take your shot. You paid your quarter. Go right ahead.
What's the most difficult thing to hit?
You knock off that little clay pipe and you get a box of delicious homemade milk chocolate.
Watch me.
Trifle.
Why, what's happened?
Blood. You see what's coming from behind that target? Dripping onto the floor? That's blood, mister. There's a body behind that target.
But, I didn't know anyone was...
You didn't, huh? We'll see about that. Mister, you just committed murder.
Yes, at the state fair, Leonidas discovers the strangest, most unbelievable techniques for committing homicide. It's a very unusual story, and I hope you'll be listening next Sunday. And now, good night.
If you live in or near New York, or if you're planning to visit New York soon, you're invited to attend a broadcast of Leonidas Witherall. There's no charge for tickets. Just drop a postcard with your name and address to Bill Shakespeare. That's what Leonidas' friends call him, Bill Shakespeare, care of WOR New York 18. He'll be happy to send complimentary tickets. Remember, simply send a postcard to Bill Shakespeare, WOR New York 18. The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall came to you from the stage of the WOR Mutual Playhouse in New York. This is Mutual.
Welcome back. Well, this one had an entirely different feel from the other stories we've heard, and really from most of the rest of the stories in the series. And a listener mentioned that the intro teaser on Sherlock Holmes didn't help any. It doesn't really help much with Leonidas Witherall either. I guess if there's a moral of the story, it's that we don't necessarily know what's going on from a distance, even if things happen to look all right. I guess that's what we can take away. There are better episodes ahead. Not many. I should let you know that coming in 4 weeks, we'll be bringing you The Fat Man, one of my favorite short-run old-time radio series. We'll be listening for that. All right, listener comment and feedback from Blaine. Adam, I heard your request for a poll on the best way to spend your time once the Dragnet podcast closes. I have 3 ideas, which I'll list in order of preference. Number 1, add a third day to your existing Superman podcast. There are a whole lot of episodes in that series, and it's going to take a long time to get through them all. 2, add a 6th show to the Great Protective podcast as suggested. And 3, start a third podcast about some other radio gems with shorter runs, such as the Blue Beetle, the Shadow, etc. Whether you choose any of the above or not, I will be listening. You're an entertaining commentator, and we clearly have similar tastes in radio programming. Well, thanks so much, Blaine. Superman podcast is an interesting idea. I love doing this series. We haven't gotten near the audience we have for Great Detectives or Dragnet, which would be probably my hesitation about adding extra days. But if I thought we could, it might be something to consider. But thanks for the suggestions. Much appreciated. All right. Well, we will be back on Wednesday with Let George Do It, and then join us back here on Tuesday for another adventure of Leonidas Witherall. Well, I want to encourage you, if you've not already, to pick up a copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo. It's great for any fans of detective fiction. We take a look at 7 great detectives of literature, television, and radio, and then we garner life lessons from their varied experience. All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo is available for your Kindle on Amazon. It's also available for a limited time for other ebook readers, including the Nook in the Barnes & Noble Nook store and on iTunes, as well as for all other readers at smashwords.com. All right, well, let's get into today's episode of Let George Do It, The Meddler.
Personal notice, danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine.
Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California invites you to Let George Do It. Before we join George Valentine, here's a tip for car owners. You may be wasting 1 out of every 10 gallons of gasoline you buy due to worn spark plugs. They can also rob your engine of power and pickup. To avoid this waste, let Car Savers check your spark plugs soon. They'll clean them and reset the gap, or if necessary, they'll be glad to install new plugs. It takes just a few minutes to check the condition of the spark plugs in your car. So stop in tomorrow for a Car Saver spark plug checkup at your independent Chevron gas station or Standard station, where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. Now for tonight's story, The Meddler, another adventure of George Valentine.
Hey, Angel, how do you spell inaccessible?
Inaccessible, I think.
What? Who would...
There was no one in the outer office, and I saw the door open, so I walked in.
Oh. Well, you might as well put those suitcases down. They must be heavy.
Thank you. I wish a person could put other burdens down as easily, don't you, Mr. Valentine?
I'll be coming up, Master. Oh, maybe I should have brought another container.
Mr. Valentine, my name is Sally Riker, and I'm supposed to be on a bus going back to college. I'm a freshman at Laurentine. But I just had to see you.
Why?
Because I feel as though I'm living under a dark, heavy cloud just before the storm breaks.
Oh, did you have breakfast, Sally?
No, I could hardly think about food under the circumstances.
Okay, well, here.
Oh, thanks.
Well, this is Claire Brooks, my assistant.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, now, Sally, what's this about living under a storm cloud?
Well, last night I heard a shot. There was no mistaking it. But when I asked about it, everyone in the house just simply clammed up, said I'd imagined things. Even after I saw the broken glass in the French doors where the bullet hit.
You mean this happened in your parents' home?
Oh, no, my father's been dead ever since I was a little girl. My mother works for Mr. Mayhew. She's his secretary. And since it's such a great big house on Fairway Terrace, we all live there, too. Except now that I've grown up, Mother doesn't like me to be around there, and so she sent me to college out of town.
Mayhew on Fairway Terrace. You don't mean Henry Mayhew.
Of course.
No wonder your mother isn't too anxious to have you live there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're wrong about Mr. Mayhew. I know he has a rather romantic reputation, but after all, an actor...
Romantic reputation? He's a middle-aged chaser. As I get it, even his wife is finally fed up with him, going to divorce him.
He's a sensitive man, and people don't understand him, not even Mother. All she thinks of is business. And Mrs. Mayhew...
Yeah, well, never mind, please. What happened last night? Why did you come to me?
Well, I couldn't go to the police. The publicity and all.
Why don't you start at the beginning?
Well, I heard a shot. It sounded as though it came from Mr. Mayhew's study. I ran there, and he was just coming out. He was pale and shaken. But he said there wasn't any shot.
And the broken glass?
His study faces the garden. They're big French doors. One of the panes was broken.
Didn't you talk to your mother?
Well, that's just it. She was very upset, too, but she bawled me out for making such a fuss and said I was to go back to college immediately.
So was Mrs. Mayhew there?
Well, she was somewhere in the house, but I didn't speak to her. And another thing. Earlier in the evening, I saw a man sneak away from the garden. I couldn't see him clearly, but he was a very tall man. Mr. Valentine, something, sinister is going on. And you must find out what it is.
Hey, Sally, you're not worried about your mother being mixed up in all this, are you?
Oh, no, of course not. She's wonderful. She couldn't do anything wrong in her life. But she was so happy to see me when I came home for the weekend. Happier than she's ever been. And she laughed and said maybe next summer we'd go to South America. And then after that shot, she wasn't the same person somehow.
Well, now, look, apparently no one was hurt, and it's not a good idea to go meddling into other people's lives.
But I won't go back to school until I know I can't. Mr. Valentine, you don't have to let them know who you are.
George, maybe you could.
Okay. You stay here with Sally, Angel. You say there's a pane of broken glass in Mr. Mayhew's study, huh?
Yes.
Well, I fixed a broken window once. Maybe I could fix another one. Oh, look out below, Mr. Mayhew.
What? Oh, yes.
Yeah. Sure funny how high up this glass was broken. Good 9, 10 feet. Kids broke it with a baseball, maybe, huh?
That's right. Kids.
Oh, sure. Do it every time. Now, I'll get down and tackle this thing from the terrace side again. My. Sure a beautiful place you have here.
Beautiful place. A home where love dwells.
Yeah. All right. I'd better sweep some of the glass away. Don't want to hurt this rug.
Yes, of course.
Gee, I hate to see nice things spoil. Like this chair near the desk, Mr. Mayhew. That burn along the back. Must have been a little careless with the cigarette, eh, Mr. Mayhew?
What? Oh, yes. Yes, that's what it must have been, a cigarette.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, wait till I tell people where I've been today. I know a girl says you're the most romantic man on the stage.
Oh, I am a great lover. I understand women perfectly.
Wish I could.
Here you are, Mr. Mayhew. I'm sorry, but I had to wait a few minutes for the druggist to make them up.
Thank you, Mrs. Riker.
Henry,
Oh, that's all right, my dear. The man to fix the broken glass.
I see.
Oh, good afternoon, ma'am.
I'll just put these in the bathroom. Don't want to risk having a sleepless night.
Gosh, lady, you don't know what it means for me to be in Mr. Mayhew's house. You work for him, huh? Secretary? Say, is it true that his missus is going to divorce him? Guess she found out something she shouldn't have, huh?
She's not so pure herself. But suppose you do a little more work and a little less talking.
Oh, well, I'm not butting in now, lady. Just curious, you understand. And, say, when I was out in the garden, right there on the terrace, I found this little gold thing.
Phi Beta Kappa key.
Belong to somebody in this house?
Honorary Scholastic Society? Hardly.
Oh. Well, I'll find out who it belongs to and see if I can return it.
Mrs. Riker?
Yes, sir?
If Mrs. Mayhew condescends to leave her room, tell her I want to talk to her about her favorite subject, honor. Honor is like that glossy bubble that finds philosophers such trouble, whose least part cracked, the whole doth fly, and wits are cracked to find out why.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Wait and wait!
Who understands women?
I told you before, I do. That's why I'm the happiest man in the world.
My, sure drove off in a temper.
Young man, how did you know about the broken glass here? Who called you? Not that it makes any difference.
Well, if it doesn't make any difference, why answer? Who knows about men, either?
That was very nice of you, Mr. Valentine, to go to all the trouble to return this key to me.
Oh, I knew it must have meant a great deal to you, Mr. Dwight. People say someday soon you'll be giving up your law practice and running for Congress. I'll finally have a friend in high places.
Well, thanks again.
Yeah. That's funny the way I found this thing. I just happened to be visiting the Henry Mayhew home, and the key was in their garden.
Who? Oh, you must be mistaken where you found it, Mr. Valentine.
Oh, no. That's where it was, Mr. Dwight.
I tell you, it's impossible. I don't know the Mayhews and never met them.
Besides, someone saw a tall man, as tall as you, out there only last night.
Get out of my office.
Okay, friend. Take it easy.
You're not just someone who happened to find this. How did you trace this key to me anyway?
Saw your name on it? Check with the Alumni Association?
No, spoken like a detective. Well, go back to whoever hired you.
Hired me?
Tell him you were as unsuccessful as the others have been. Because there's nothing to find out. Now, I said get out.
Oh, easy. I said relax.
Why?
I know. You're a lawyer. You'll sue me. So long, Buster.
Valentine, I told you I don't know this Mr. Dwight. And as long as no one was hurt by what you say happened here last night, I see no reason for you to go on meddling.
No, neither do I, Mrs. Mayhew, but I think it's your business to listen to what I have to say first.
Really? Well, I'm sorry Sally Riker went to you. She's too imaginative. She romanticizes things.
Maybe. But if you want to hear my opinion, I think your husband tried to kill himself last night.
Oh.
I say the most comical
Yes.
things.
You don't know how comical. You forget I've been married to Henry for a long, long time.
And?
And I know he would never hurt a hair on his head. He loves himself too much. He's too vain. He's too selfish.
Well, he seems to be taking your leaving him very hard.
Mr. Valentine, I know he has a fatal charm for women, but not for me any longer. There. Simple enough?
In other words, you don't care.
Come on, he's in his study. Let's ask him.
Well, I don't think putting it to him as bluntly as this.
My husband is a very strong person, really. Henry?
Yes? What are you doing back here, young man?
He's sort of a private detective, Henry.
What?
You've had dealings with private detectives before. Don't be shocked.
But why would a private detective...
His name is George Valentine. And he thinks you tried to kill yourself last night.
Oh, now, that's silly. It's not true at all.
Mr. Valentine says he has some proof for his statement. What is that proof, Mr. Valentine?
Well, where the bullet hit, so high up. If anyone shot at you or if you shot at anyone else, it would never be that high. Not even an amateur would have such bad aim.
Well, that doesn't prove anything.
Well, there's that chair. You were sitting in it. The bullet from the gun you held left that burn. You lost your nerve at the last minute. I even think I could find the gun somewhere in this house.
Of course there's a gun. I was cleaning it last night and held it just the way you described. And accidentally it went off.
That explanation seems logical, Mr. Valentine. The whole matter can be considered quite closed now, can't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, I'm a meddler and I'll get out. But if you don't mind, I'm going to check with Mrs. Riker on who to believe and what to believe in this thing.
Excuse me. Yes, hello. Yes, this is Mr. Mayhew. State police? What? No. Oh, no. All right.
Oh, what is it, Henry? What happened?
Lillian Riker. She's had an accident. A car swerved off the road and crashed into a ravine. She's dead.
In just a moment, we'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. With colder weather here, you've probably already taken steps to protect your car during the frosty days ahead. But did you know that you can buy a gasoline that is also designed for winter driving? One of Chevron Supreme's all 8 high-performance qualities is area blending, which means that Chevron Supreme is specially blended for every climate and area. The Chevron Supreme you buy in Los Angeles, for instance, is refined differently from that which you buy in the Rocky Mountain area or the San Francisco Bay region. For Chevron Supreme, gasoline is always right for the kind of driving you do where you do it. And that's just one of the all 8 necessary high-performance qualities in every gallon. In addition, you get mileage, power, anti-knock, vapor lock prevention, starting, warm-up, and acceleration. So for top, all-round driving pleasure, wherever you drive in the West, just remember to fill her up with the gasoline that gives you all 8 Chevron Supreme gasoline at standard stations or independent Chevron gas stations where they say and mean we take better care of your car. Now, back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. A highly excited 17-year-old girl bursts into your office.
I feel as though I'm living under a dark, heavy cloud just before the storm breaks. I know my mother isn't mixed up in any of this because she's wonderful. She couldn't do anything wrong in her life. But you must help me.
Well, you've just about convinced yourself that all there is behind the storm cloud is the attempted suicide of a man who also likes to dramatize himself. The aging matinee idol Henry Mayhew, whose cynical wife is finally leaving him. Of course, the girl's mother could help to explain all this, but now she's been killed in an automobile accident. Well, if your name is George Valentine, you know there's need for more meddling in this case.
I went down to identify her. It was Lillian, all right. And she's gone.
Well, what sent her out of here like a bolt anyway, Mr. Mayhew?
She was my strong right arm. Took care of me all these years. Helped me out of scrapes so my wife wouldn't know.
You didn't answer my question.
Huh? Oh, I don't know. I suppose she was upset over the way I've been acting. She told me to snap out of it, that I had to snap out of it. I guess she was impatient with me. But I never
I
thought...
see. What do you intend to do now, Mr. Mayhew?
What can I do? Maybe it's some sort of poetic justice. I haven't been exactly a model man or husband, Mr. Valentine. Besides, a man can only fight up to a certain point.
You don't still have any fancy ideas left, do you, Mr. Mayhew?
I don't know what you're talking about. By the by, I've invited Philip Dwight to come over here this afternoon.
Dwight? Do you know him?
Not exactly, but I think I should. Yes, I think I should meet him once.
You know, there's something that's been bothering me, Mr. Mayhew.
Yes?
Both Philip Dwight and Mrs. Mayhew have made some cracks about private detectives. Now, what were they driving at?
I don't know. Anyway, all that is unimportant now. That's all in the past. Oh, stay where you are, Mr. Valentine. I'll see who it is.
Honor is like that glossy bubble that finds philosophers such trouble.
Oh, George.
Yeah, Brooksy.
I came out as fast as I could.
Well, where's Sally? The poor kid must be half crazy after she learned about her mother.
She's a pretty, wonderful girl and brave. I left her with a state police lieutenant.
Well, what about that accident?
Not a single thing to show that it wasn't just that. Apparently, Mrs. Riker was driving too fast and lost control of her car.
She sure took off here in a great big hurry.
Hey, what's going on out here? I came in with a tall, distinguished-looking gentleman.
You did? That'll be Mr. Dwight. Come on, Brooksy. Let's find him before Mr. Mayhew gets cute again.
There, in there. That's Mr. Dwight. And that's Mrs. Mayhew, isn't it?
Yeah, just the two of them. I thought there might have been some bloodshed.
Well, they're doing some pretty fast talking for two people who are not supposed to know each other.
Watch this. See what I mean? Come on. Well, we meet again, Mr. Dwight.
Yeah.
Mrs. Mayhew, this is my assistant, Miss Brooks.
Mrs. Mayhew?
I had the slight feeling that this was supposed to be some sort of showdown or noble renunciation or something. Where's Mr. Mayhew?
I don't know.
He told me to come in here, that he'd be back in a few minutes. Why?
I think we'd better find him.
Henry? I don't know where he could have gone. And I certainly don't see the need for all the excitement.
It's a big house, Mrs. Mayhew. We'd better keep looking.
Look, George, on the night table, a note.
Let me have it, please. Dear Rhoda, forgive me for all the heartache I have caused you in the past. But I still can't let you go unless I go first. This time, I won't miss. Love, Henry.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, he'd never kill himself, I tell you. He wouldn't.
Come on. Hey, this box almost empty. What is this? You take medicine or something?
Sleeping pills. Take only as directed.
What's beyond this bathroom?
Oh, just a little dressing room. It leads nowhere. Henry!
Don't come near any of you.
Don't be a fool, Mayhew. Put that gun down.
And Phil. Yes, this is the gun you were looking for, Mr. Valentine. I didn't have the courage to shoot myself last night, at the last minute. But this way is simpler.
I'll phone for Dr. George.
Stay where you are. I don't want to be rescued. It'll all be over in a minute. There were 10 pills in that packet.
Henry, please.
No, it's too late. Better this way.
You must listen to me. I want to explain something to you.
Better this way.
Philip.
Rhoda, darling, please.
Brooksy, get that doctor. Hurry.
Yes, Doctor. Sleeping tablets. Please, as soon as you can.
Oh, that's a fine thing.
Oh, I can't help crying, Philip. I know we shouldn't have met the way we did secretly and stealthily.
Now, don't blame yourself, Rhoda, please.
But I knew what he would have done with his love for scandal. And I didn't want you to get hurt. Your career.
No, we didn't do anything wrong.
I've had enough of that. So you finally succeeded, you poor sap. The stupid way out. Big romance. Only this was a pretty fancy death, even for a character like you. Too fancy. And why you did it before me, a stranger. Unless you wanted a witness. Do you hear me, Mayhew?
Of course I hear you. But let them go on. Listen, let them dig their own graves. Let them keep talking. Detectives could never find out anything like that.
Get up off that bed, you
overriding
phony.
Throw them out.
Get up here.
What's going on in this?
What's the matter?
Mr. Mason. Welcome, mourners. Come in, join the party.
Yeah, it's him, all right. Back from the dead.
Even the devil won't take me. You were always so right, Rhoda. It took quite a build-up to make you believe in my death, didn't it?
What is this?
George, what's going on?
Suicide note. Those pills.
Harmless, bad-tasting imitations, Counselor. I'm afraid they only look like my regular sleeping tablets. The druggist did a good job, didn't he? Now, shall we talk about the divorce?
You mean all this was just...
You two have been so discreet, my dear. And with my reputation, it isn't easy for me to plead injury, for me to be the aggrieved party.
I'll show you what a plea
Watch
of
it,
injury is.
Mr. Now let him go. Give the witnesses even more to testify about. You two just don't seem to understand yet, that's all. Rhoda, I'm going to divorce you. And, of course, if the word alimony is mentioned even once...
George, if you don't kill that man, I'm going to.
You staged all this just to save yourself some money.
I'll see. A ticket to South America. A delightful blonde showgirl waiting for me there who would be much too expensive for me to afford otherwise, don't you think?
Oh, Buster.
You don't think I would use my talent as an actor just for love, do you? Do you?
What's the matter? You want an answer to that?
No. I mean, of course it's money. To save money. To get my grounds for divorce on that ridiculous wife. Money.
George?
Now leave me alone, all of you. What more do you... What more? Mr. Valentine, come here. I said leave me. Dead? Of course he's dead.
Casey, that's not what I asked you.
Well, poison. What do you think?
But he said those pills of his were harmless. They wouldn't hurt a fly.
Look, Valentine, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a magician. I don't know who switched his medicine around. I don't know who took advantage of a silly suicide to make a perfect murder.
But, George, then the secretary's death must have been murder, too.
Skipper, will you? I'm calling from the office, and I got some visitors coming in.
But what did Lieutenant Johnson say? If somebody switched Mayhew's pills on him so he took real ones...
Brooksy, please, wait. We've already got all the facts we need.
Yeah.
Now, just do what I say and take Sally back to your place fast. And don't let her talk to anybody either. See you later, Angel.
Hello, Mr. Valentine.
Yes, we got your message. We got here as soon as we could.
Yeah, hello. Well, sit down. Make yourselves comfortable.
Mr. Valentine, please. You told me on the phone you knew who killed my husband.
Don't you?
Well, I don't...
Mr. Dwight, you're an attorney. You have a clear, logical mind. Examine the evidence.
Well, I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
Well, the date on that box he took the pills from was today.
Well?
We checked up and found that nobody else had delivered any packages to the house.
I don't understand.
Well, I was out there when his secretary, Mrs. Riker, brought in a package for him. From the drugstore, too. That must have been the pills.
You mean she was in on it with him?
I mean more than that. I mean she murdered him.
What?
Yes. It's quite a mess, isn't it? Oh, the police checked up on the drugstore. They confirmed it, too. And nobody ever bought any phony pills.
She always did everything he told her to.
Yeah, and there's her fingerprints on them and everything else. It ties in with what both of them said. He sent her to get some phonies for his little act. And then she brought him real ones instead. Not that I blame her.
But why? Why would
Sally
she...
told me her mother was so businesslike, so calm and reserved.
Oh.
Yeah. In love with him, wasn't she? Just like every other woman he ever met.
He treated her miserably.
Did he? When Sally even told me your mother thought she was going to South America? And the police said she told several other people, too?
She thought Mayhew was going to take her with him?
Well, she agreed to help your husband with this lousy act of his, just so he could marry her.
And then she found he had only one ticket to South America. I remember she was all upset last night.
But do you really think her accident was an accident?
All I know is she just left the house after handing the man the stuff to really kill himself with. Her perfect way of getting even.
And so, that's it.
Oh, no, it's not. Sit down, please.
What?
Well, I just finished a selling job on Lieutenant Johnson. Now I'm going to do one on you. I don't think it'll be too difficult. But this time, I'm really going to meddle for good.
If you aren't already using new RPM, the motor oil that was developed through atomic energy, then you're not using the oil that doubles engine life. Yes, compared with premium-type motor oils, as designated by the American Petroleum Institute, new RPM motor oil doubles engine life between major overhauls due to lubrication, more than meets the heavy-duty requirements of all car manufacturers. Get new RPM for your car at independent Chevron gas stations or standard stations, where they say and mean, we take better care of your car.
It's horrible, isn't it? My mother's accident. But it's one of those things you can't help, can you?
No, that's right, Sally.
I can only hope that I can go on and someday make her as proud of me as I've been proud of her.
Your dinner's ready, Sally. Do you want to run downstairs?
All right, yes, thanks. You've both been so nice to me. Mr. Mayhew used to be very nice to me, too. I told you he was a fine, sensitive man. But he just couldn't stand living alone and unwanted, could he?
Well, Mayhew was just weak, I guess. That's why he killed himself.
Are you coming down, Miss Brooks?
In just a minute, dear. Accident. Suicide. So that's what you've been up to.
Well, why not? He left a note, didn't he? Now, does that kid have to know her mother was...
No. Of course, I understand.
Everybody else bought it. They're all with us.
But Sally, you mean? Oh, George. Sometimes I wish you could know how I really feel about you.
Oh, now take it easy, Angel. I don't want to meddle.
Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It was written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Kenneth Webb. Larry Dobkin was heard as Mayhew, Frank Hale as Mrs. Mayhew, Stephen Chase as Dwight, and Gene Bates as Sally. The music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, that was, shall we say, a very twisty story. I think particularly even the fake suicide attempt, I think that what probably amazes me is that they did think the guy was actually dead. I think perhaps it was just that George didn't check the body. But as much experience as George has, he should know when somebody's dead or just faking it. But then again, as I said, it may just have been a situation with assumption. And we have one of these rare cases in detective fiction where, for whatever reason, the detective, particularly when you're dealing with and this is probably most common when you're dealing with a dead murderer or perhaps a dying murderer, which you may have some sympathy with. And there's no great loss or any harm done to the cause of justice. And so that's why George went ahead in this case and made sure that the girl who came to him never found out what her mother had done. Well, we turn now to listener comments and feedbacks. Chad says, as much as I enjoy your podcast, I do wish to request that you withdraw the uhs and ums from your general speech, and would also like to ask you not to scrutinize the details of an episode due to their classic nature. I do enjoy your informative dialogue and views on upcoming episodes. I hope none of this offends you and would like you to know I appreciate what you're doing. Well, thanks for the email, Chad. We've kind of been through it with the speech patterns. It's something that we try to minimize. Certainly, it's something we're aware of, but it slips out, and there you go. Regarding not commenting or criticizing plots, I think it adds a little bit of an element of humor, and that's kind of why we do it. I understand it's not to everyone's taste, but it works with the style and the way we do the show. So, thanks for the email. We have an email, Michael, who asked, do you know where I can find episodes from This Is Your FBI? Michael, the best source I know for This Is Your FBI is the Internet Archive, archive.org. If you go to the archive, if you do a search on the main page at the Internet Archive, for This Is Your FBI, about the third item down is going to come up with your best bet, about 270 some episodes. And really, it is a grand series, just a lot of good acting, good writing, not necessarily a detective show, more a crime show. But if I did do, a show where we knew who the bad guys were and we were half in their head, This Is Your FBI would be my favorite. It's a show. Actually, I've got all the episodes on my computer, and so sometimes I'll just be sitting there doing something that's not going to require a lot of my attention, and I'll pop in This Is Your FBI to make the time go by faster. So I hope you enjoy that, and again, go to the Internet Archive to This Is Your FBI, do that as a search, and you'll find it. It's a great series. Finally, we have an email from Lauren who writes in, I'm a woodcut artist living in Los Angeles. I've carved a number of original woodcut prints inspired by my favorite films. I thought you might be interested. And indeed, these are interesting pieces of art. He's done stuff of Humphrey Bogart, Peter Lorre, Edward G. Robinson, Jack Palance. And I'll just give you the website, and you can go there. Woodcuttingfool.blogspot.com, woodcuttingfool.blogspot.com, and take a look at it. Some pretty interesting pieces of art drawn there, and I appreciate you sharing the link, Lauren. All right, well, that will do it for today. Join us back here tomorrow for Sherlock Holmes, and then next week, another episode of Let George Do It. Today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all your support. Now here's today's episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Ancient Queen.
From New York City, the makers of Clippercraft clothes for men and more than 1,200 leading retail stores from coast to coast present Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's immortal character, the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes, starring John Stanley. This week's story, The Adventure of the Ancient Queen.
Holmes.
What is it, Watson?
Look through the window here. Someone just dashed out of a cab. He's running into this building.
Indeed, Watson. A late hour for anyone to be about.
Well, seems to be coming up to our rooms. Good Lord, Holmes, did you hear that?
Yes, Watson. It seems that our nocturnal visitor has been suddenly detained. Well, we're at the door of Dr. John Watson's study, and we're about to hear another of his adventures with the fabulous Sherlock Holmes.
Well, good evening, Mr. Harris.
Oh, good evening, Dr. Watson. What memoir are you working on tonight?
I call it The Adventure of the Ancient Queen. And a rather weird and bizarre case it was, too. One of Holmes's prime favorites, I might add, with an origin over 3,000 years old.
3,000 years old?
Exactly, Mr. Harris.
Well, Dr. Watson, who was this ancient queen?
All in good time, Mr. Harris. I shall reveal that a little later. But now it would seem is the appropriate time for a word about those excellent Clippercraft clothes.
And so it is, Doctor. If you've been wearing high-priced clothes, you may wonder how your Clippercraft dealer can afford to give you one of the finest suits you've ever seen for only $40 or $45. Well, it could happen only in America. And here's the answer. The friendly independent store in your community that sells Clippercraft clothes is one of the more than 1,200 fine stores throughout the nation who concentrate their huge purchasing power just to bring you big money suits at exceptionally low prices. The savings on fabric purchases alone are tremendous. Naturally, production and distribution costs are lowered, and enormous economies are affected by Clippercraft's operation of their great tailoring plants on a full-time schedule all year round. And there you have it. The honest reason behind Clippercraft's amazing values. That's why you can own a handsome Clippercraft suit of luxurious worsted at only $45, and why millions are so delighted with Clippercraft's incredibly low prices for fine topcoats and overcoats. Yes, compare Clippercraft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, what about this adventure of the ancient queen?
Well, Mr. Harris, as I recall, it took place in the spring of 1896. And properly speaking, it began not on our own green island, but on the sun-baked sandy waste of Lower Egypt. It was in this area that Sir Edward Norcross, the eminent British archaeologist, had long sought the ancient mysteries of the pharaohs. Then one day, near a place called El Ayat on the Lower Nile, he broke into a hidden underground tomb, crisscrossed with dark and dust-choked passageways, brooding with the silence of centuries. And then Sir Edward and his assistant Smythe left the rest of the excavation party and pushed forward into the most remote section of the subterranean tomb.
It's dust, Sir Edward. It's almost impossible to breathe.
Yes, my accumulation of some 3,000 undisturbed years.
I don't like it, sir. We've never gone this deep before. I don't know. I've got a feeling we are not alone here.
Oh, rubbish. No living person has entered this tomb for centuries. Perhaps up ahead we may... Smythe.
Yes, sir?
Hold that lantern higher. I think I see... Smythe! Smythe, we found it!
Good Lord!
Come on, let's have a closer look. Look, Smythe. The hieroglyphics. The reliefs on the walls. The lotus bud columns. The green stone beetle. The sacred hawks of Horus.
Royalty! 19th dynasty in the period of Ramesses the Pharaoh. And here's a stone mummy case, a sarcophagus.
Oh, George, sir, it must be.
Yes. Come, Smythe, help me. Let's force open this stone coffin cover.
Yes, sir. I'll get under it with the crowbar, sir. It's opening, sir.
Smythe. Look. Good Lord, sir, it's a queen. Yes, Smythe. The queen of the Egyptian pharaoh, Ramesses II. I've been looking for her for years. Years. And now I've found her. We'll take her back to London, put her on exhibit in the British Museum.
But will His Excellency Ahmed Bey allow this, Sir Edward?
Ahmed Bey is merely the Khedive's agent for archaeological matters. I have a directive from the Crown, from Buckingham Palace itself. Oh, look at her, Smile. Lying there in the mummy case. Looks almost alive, doesn't she?
Yes, Sir Edward. It almost seems like a sacrilege to disturb her.
Beware, vandals.
Sir Edward, what was that? Voice from somewhere in the tomb.
Beware, heathen disturbers of the dead, violators of the tomb. Let the dead sleep.
Sir Edward, listen.
Beware, desecrators. Take thy vile gaze from the Queen of Ramesses. Go. Leave this tomb and never return. Remove the noble one from her sacred sleep, and ye too shall sleep, the sleep of death. Hearken to me, or ye shall die.
So you intend to take the mummy of the Queen of Ramesses back to London, Sir Edward?
Yes, Your Excellency. I plan to bring her directly to the British Museum.
As Foreign Minister for His Royal Highness the Khedive, I do not advise it.
What do you mean?
You told me about the voice in the tomb, Sir Edward. You have been warned.
Yes, Your Excellency. I know the legend. There's supposed to be a fanatical Egyptian sect called the Society of the Sun, devoted to the protection of the sacred spirits of the royal dead.
You are well informed, Sir Edward.
Of course, it's all rot. Pure rubbish. I heard a voice, yes, but I'm sure it came from one of the Egyptians in my party, somewhere in the tunnel. Probably tried to frighten us away so that he could rob the mummy case of its priceless relics at will.
You still insist on transporting the mummy to the British Museum?
I do.
Very well. You have royal authority, and I cannot refuse you. However, there are a few details I must insist upon.
Yes?
The mummy case must remain sealed and placed under heavy guard for the entire voyage. And I myself will go along to see that this priceless treasure of Egypt arrives safely at its destination.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, now you have the background of the story from His Excellency here, Ahmed Bey, and myself. We came directly to your quarters here at Baker Street as soon as we saw the sarcophagus safely delivered to the museum.
I see.
We felt that this was a matter far beyond the province of the official police. Sir Edward here insisted that you were the only man in the Empire capable of coping with this problem, Mr. Holmes.
In that assumption, Your Excellency, Sir Edward is entirely correct. And I must say that I find your account of the incident in the tomb quite fascinating.
Sir Edward, do you think this fanatical cult may strike soon?
It has already struck, Dr. Watson.
What? Do I understand you to say, Sir Edward, that the society has taken its first victim?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, yes. My assistant, Smythe. He vanished on the ship on our third day out. We never saw him again.
The deuce, you say?
Interesting, Sir Edward. Very. Your Excellency.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
What is your opinion of this secret cult devoted to the protection of Egypt's ancient tombs?
Mr. Holmes, I am what you call modern. I was educated at Oxford, and I know the views of the Western world on these legends. I am not a superstitious man myself, but I have a feeling that this cult does exist.
Then you think it is dangerous, must be taken seriously?
Yes, Dr. Watson. I have repeatedly suggested to Sir Edward here that the only safe course is to restore the mummy of the Ramesses Queen back to its original resting place and seal the tomb.
Send the Queen of Ramesses back to Egypt? No, Your Excellency. This is the greatest discovery of my career.
As you wish, Sir Edward. I must warn you, however, that I, as well as you, are in acute danger of death. After all, I have been an accessory to spiriting the mummy out of Egypt, and if these assassins decide to pay a visit to my suite at the Savoy,
Holmes, what the deuce is
The window pane, Watson, has just been smashed.
Yes, someone threw an object through it.
Quick, Watson, to the window. See anyone on the street below?
No, Holmes. I thought I saw a shadow turn the corner, but I couldn't be sure.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, here's the object that broke your window. It's the scarab.
Yes, a green stone beetle. And there's a note attached to one of the claws.
Allow me to examine the note, Your Excellency.
Dash it, Holmes, don't just stand there. What the devil does it say?
Beware, Sir Edward. You have been warned. Your time will come, and soon. For he who despoils the tomb of the pharaohs, he who violates their eternal rest, dies.
Come in. Oh, good evening, Hobbs.
Good evening, Dr. Forsyth.
Let me see. You're on duty as guard here at the museum tonight, are you not?
Yes, sir.
Hobbs, as director of the British Museum, I must emphasize the fact that you have a special responsibility tonight.
Yes, sir.
Sir Edward Norcross has just brought us a new sarcophagus from Egypt. It contains the ancient queen of Ramesses and is priceless, priceless. I want you to keep a special eye on it tonight. You follow me, Hobbs?
All right, sir. I won't let it get out of my sight for long.
Very good, Hobbs. You'll find the mummy case just below the massive granite statue of Ramesses in the Egyptian Central Saloon between the galleries. Good night, Hobbs.
Good night, Dr. Forsyth.
I say, Holmes.
Yes, Watson?
Where the devil are we going? After Sir Edward and Ahmed left our rooms, you rushed me out in the street, and I didn't...
First, Watson, we're going to the home of my good friend, Dr. Eustace Forsyth, director of the British Museum.
Indeed, why?
It's past closing time at the museum, but I hope I can induce Dr. Forsyth to allow us a special showing of Her Ancient Majesty, the Queen of Ramesses.
Holmes, surely you don't believe that?
Watson, I'm prepared for anything at this point. We're dealing with a mystic here, with a group of fanatics who will stop at nothing. I've instructed Sir Edward to bolt his doors and lock his windows, but I fear it may not be enough.
What do you mean, Holmes?
I mean that Sir Edward's in very grave danger. Unless I underestimate this strange society of the sun, other lives will be at stake before this night is done.
Hello? Hello? Who's there? Who's there near that mummy case? Speak up. I could have sworn I saw someone lurking around that mummy case of the Ramesses Queen. No. No. No!
Say all entrances and doors to the museum are locked, Dr. Forsyth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, locked and bolted. Everything but the main entrance, which I just unlocked with my own key.
And the museum guard is watching that mummy case?
Yes, a man named Hobbs.
Not the kind of job I'd want, I must say. Where the deuce are we at this moment?
In the Assyrian transept, Watson. In a moment we shall pass through the North Gallery into the Egyptian Central Saloon.
Mr. Holmes, I still don't understand the reason for this extraordinary visit to the museum tonight.
Murder, Dr. Forsyth.
Murder?
Yes. And I only hope we're in time to...
Holmes, good Lord, what was that?
Follow me, both of you.
Here we are, at the Egyptian Central Saloon.
There's deuce of dark in here.
Quick, Watson, a match.
Yes. Here you are, Holmes.
Here's the massive granite statue of Ramesses II and the mummy case of the Queen at its feet.
Holmes, good Lord.
Just as I feared, Watson, we're too late.
Why, it's Hobbs. Hobbs, the guard. He's covered with blood.
Yes.
Dead.
Yes, struck in the head by a tremendous blow. Watson, look.
Where?
Up at the statue of Ramesses II. Note the clenched granite fist.
Holmes, good heavens, the statue's fist is smeared with blood.
I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Beware.
What on earth is that?
The so-called voice of Ramesses, apparently.
Beware, heathen disturbers of the dead, violators of the tomb. Let the dead sleep. Hearken unto me, or ye shall die.
Well, Dr. Watson, so far it's been some adventure. Why, the thrills and chills are chasing themselves up and down my spine. This one's in a class by itself, Doctor.
Class by itself? Oh, you mean the American idiom for distinctive?
Yes, that's just what I do mean, and you've chosen just the word I need when it comes to Clippercraft clothes, Doctor. Distinctive. Right now, at the friendly independent store in your community that sells Clippercraft clothes, one of America's greatest and most distinctive clothing values is yours. And for the savings you'll pocket, you can thank the great Clippercraft plan. In a typically American way, more than 1,200 of this country's finest independent stores from coast to coast, stores you can trust, have merged their buying power to reduce fabric, production, and distribution costs to an absolute minimum. Otherwise, it would be quite impossible for you to own topcoats or overcoats as luxurious looking as Clippercraft's for only $40 to $47.50. Or the new lightweight zipper lining Clippercraft topcoat that is sweeping the country at a price that will surprise you. It's so low. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, topcoats, and overcoats. In Manhattan, John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
And now, Dr. Watson, you were relating to us the adventure of the ancient queen.
Yes, Mr. Harris, so I was. Holmes, Dr. Forsythe, and I stood there transfixed as that voice from the tomb echoed through the vast, eerie museum. It spoke, then it was still. Dr. Forsythe illuminated one of the gas chandeliers, and as the flickering flame played over the massive statue with the blood-stained fist, we seemed to feel a living presence in the room.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Dr. Forsythe.
That voice, that eerie voice, it seemed to come from the mausoleum room next to the Nineveh Gallery.
Shouldn't we hurry off in pursuit, Holmes?
No, Watson, we should be wasting our time.
Yes, but
The museum is a vast place, Watson, as you well know, consisting of whole series of special rooms. That echoing voice could have come from anywhere.
Mr. Holmes! Dr. Watson!
Holmes, someone's coming.
Yes.
I see a man coming in, Mr. Holmes. See him?
Ah, yes, the entrance to the Nineveh Gallery.
Mr. Holmes.
Why, it's His Excellency, Ahmed Bey.
Mr. Holmes, I came down to the museum to pay my respects to Dr. Forsythe here and make arrangements for the exhibition of the mummy case. I didn't realize the museum was closed. Then I saw you go into the front door, heard a scream, and then...
I'm afraid we're all a little late, Your Excellency.
Yes, I see that now. The Society of the Sun. They've struck again.
The statue of Ramesses seems to have struck this time, Your Excellency. If you'll just look at the fist.
Blood. Blood on the fist. The Pharaoh striking in wrath, in revenge for the desecration of his queen.
I cannot accept that observation, Your Excellency. Massive statues of red granite such as this one would find it very difficult to move. The killer smeared the fist with the blood of his victim to heighten the terror.
Mr. Holmes, this is a terrible tragedy. Terrible. There must be some course we can take.
Quite, Dr. Forsythe. We can begin where logic dictates, with a stone coffin and the mummy of Her Majesty the Queen. Watson, you take that end of the stone cover, I'll take this. It's quite heavy.
You mean you're going to open the cover of the mummy case, Holmes?
I am indeed.
Mr. Holmes, it is dangerous.
Quite, but entirely necessary and a risk we must take. Moreover, the mummy case has already been opened. You'll note the seal is broken.
By Jove, Mr. Holmes, it is.
Precisely, Dr. Forsythe. Now then, Watson, lift her up. Well, gentlemen, there she is. The queen of the great pharaoh, Ramesses II, in a funeral shroud of bandages.
Good heavens, Holmes. She looks lifelike.
A secret lost with my ancestors, Dr. Watson. The art of human preservation For thousands of years.
One moment, Your Excellency.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
A most unusual mummy, this. Look closely at that portion of bandage just over the heart.
What about it, Holmes?
It's apparently been ripped open for some reason and then re-sewn with modern thread.
Mr. Holmes, you're right.
I usually am, Dr. Forsyth. Moreover, there seems to be a cavity under that section of bandage. Note as I press my finger upon it, it yields to the touch. Your Excellency.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
I seem to recall reading somewhere that the Queen of Ramesses was given a rare and invisible gift by the sun god Ra. As one of the foremost Egyptologists in the world, have you ever heard of this legend?
No. No, I have not.
You're quite sure?
I am positive, Mr. Holmes. Why do you ask?
Merely an inherent curiosity, Your Excellency, or perhaps a positive thirst for facts. Come, Watson, we'll be off.
Where to, Holmes?
Baker Street, my dear Watson, Baker Street. To enjoy a quiet pipe and a bit of good reading.
Holmes, how the devil can you sit in that chair and read some obscure and dusty volume while these fanatics are
Patience, Watson, patience. I'm merely trying to resolve a point of scholarship. This obscure and dusty volume, as you've so irreverently called it, happens to be a rare edition of the Journal of Egyptian Mythology from the First Dynasty to the Middle Empire.
I can't say I'm impressed, Holmes. What is it, Holmes?
I found it, Watson. I found it.
You found what? I confess, Holmes, I'm entirely confused. Holmes, there's a coach drawing up to the curb.
Obviously, Watson, I can hear it quite plainly through the open window.
Oh, there's a man coming into the building. I think it's Sir Edward Norcross.
Sir Edward? Watson, I instructed him to stay in his rooms behind bolt and key. The man's in grave danger.
He's coming upstairs now. Holmes, good heavens, what...
Quick, Watson, to the stairs.
There. Holmes, it is Sir Edward. He's lying at the bottom of the stairs. He's dead.
Quite. With a crooked knife in his back and a note in his hand. Let's examine it, Watson.
Holmes, what does it say?
My dear Sir Edward, I have had the good fortune to obtain a strong lead on the Egyptian conspirators, but I require your immediate presence at Baker Street for the purpose of information. You may have no fear of leaving your quarters now. I assure you all at last is safe. Signed, Holmes.
Aha, so that's how they lured Sir Edward from his rooms, Holmes. They forged your handwriting.
Yes. Watson, I believe Ahmed Bey mentioned that he'd taken a suite at the Savoy.
Yes, Holmes, he did.
Then let's hurry off and see His Excellency at once, before it's too late. Your Excellency.
Doesn't seem to be anyone in, Holmes. By Jove, Holmes, he's left his door unlocked, you know. Good Lord. Look at this room.
Yes. A bit disorderly, isn't it, Watson?
Disorderly? It's been turned upside down. Lamps were smashed, the furniture is
Obvious signs of a fierce struggle. Hello, what's this?
What's what?
It seems that His Excellency was preparing for a long journey after having only this evening arrived from one. Aha, Watson, look here on the table.
Seems to be a boat timetable of some kind.
Precisely.
Then for some reason he's returning to Egypt post-haste.
On the contrary, my dear fellow, this happens to be the timetable of the liner Catania. And the Catania leaves Liverpool tomorrow at noon for America.
For America? Holmes, dash it, all this doesn't make sense.
It makes very good sense, Watson. The intentions and activities of His Excellency Ahmed Bey are crystal clear to me now. What's this?
There's only a towel thrown over the bed, Holmes.
Use your eyes, man. Observe closely. You see this brown and sticky stain on the corner of this towel?
Yes, Holmes, I see it now, but what is it?
That stain happens to be resin.
Resin?
Quite. And it may interest you to know, Watson, that mummies in the 19th Egyptian dynasty were embalmed in a coat of resin before they were bandaged in order to preserve them.
Oh, now what
I shall be very happy to resolve this entire adventure for you, Watson, or at least partially on our way to the British Museum. It's there, I think, that we shall see the end of this blood-drenched affair.
Well, you know, Holmes, at this moment I'm completely baffled. I see no connection between these various events.
Then let me enlighten you, Watson. First, His Excellency Ahmed Bey is a member of the Secret Society of the Sun.
What?
Now let's reconstruct, Watson. Note that Ahmed Bey insisted on staying close to the mummy on its trip to England.
Yes, but
It's reasonable to suppose, then, that Ahmed could have thrown Smythe overboard. But subsequent events made me sure of it. You remember we entered the museum with Dr. Forsyth through the main hall?
Yes.
Well, Ahmed Bey was there before us. He called to us from the Nineveh gallery on the opposite side. Hence, we were between him and the only available entrance.
By Jove, Holmes, you're right.
Quite. He assassinated the museum guard, Hobbs. But then his greed got the better of it. He knew the Ruby of Ra was hidden in the mummy's heart under the bandages.
The Ruby of Ra?
Yes, Watson. According to the legend, of which His Excellency denied all knowledge, the sun god Ra had given the Queen of Ramesses a huge ruby from his protective shield. It was placed in her heart to shield her from all harm.
And Ahmed Bey dug it out and re-sewed the bandages.
Exactly. I noticed a bit of thread on his trouser cuff when he approached us in the Egyptian Central Saloon. It was the same thread used to sew the mummy's bandages.
Then that resin stain on the towel...
Obvious, Watson. The ruby was covered with resin from the mummy. And later, Ahmed Bey tried to wipe the sticky residue off with the towel. He had planned to escape to America with the ruby and sell it for a fortune.
Why are we going to the museum now, Holmes?
Because, Watson, I have a feeling that we shall encounter the end of our adventure there. Come, Watson. Let us again examine the occupant of this sarcophagus.
Yes.
Give me a hand with this stone cover, will you?
Right. Holmes, good heavens, the mummy, the Queen. It's gone.
Quite.
And in her place lies His Excellency Ahmed Bey, with a crooked knife in his back.
Precisely, Watson. The revenge of the Society of the Sun. Ahmed Bey tried to betray his own colleagues in vain.
Yes, Holmes, I confess, I don't see how they can spirit a mummy out of the British Museum.
They can, Watson, and they have. This, my dear fellow, is not only a sinister and deadly organization, but extremely resourceful. I have no doubt that even now they're taking the ancient queen back to Egypt, where she will again be entombed, away from prying foreign eyes, and with her, the great Ruby of Ra.
Holmes, what shall we do?
Do? Nothing, my dear Watson. We've done what we can. To pursue this mummy further would lead only to further death and disaster. We're dealing in the realm of the mystic, almost the supernatural. To disturb the Queen of Ramesses is, after all, a kind of vandalism. And I, for one, am inclined to let the dead rest in peace.
Well, Dr. Watson, that was certainly an unforgettable adventure.
Indeed it was, Mr. Harris. And I might say here that as far as I know, the ancient Queen of Ramesses has never been found. And Holmes and I always took the view that, well, may she rest in peace.
Well, and now, Dr. Watson, what adventure will you have for us next week?
Well, next week, Mr. Harris, I shall relate to you the adventure of the discordant bells. It concerns a creaking rope, a red smudge, a jangling refrain, and a human pendulum.
The makers of Clipper Craft clothes and more than 1,200 stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and the program is produced and directed by Basil Loughrane. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by George Spelman. This week's story was written by Max Ehrlich with special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clipper Craft dealer, write Clipper Craft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next week to Sherlock Holmes in the adventure of the discordant bells. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clipper Craft Clothes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Fly Eastern Airlines for double dependability. Dependable airliners, dependable personnel, an unbeatable combination. save 5%. Buy round-trip tickets. To fly anywhere in the world, call Eastern Airlines or your travel agent. This is WOR, New York.
Welcome back. Well, a kind of different Sherlock Holmes. I didn't think it was bad or anything. Though I guess kind of from the beginning that His Excellency was up to no good in this case. But that was more intuition rather than specific evidence. Though I think when he showed up at the museum, that was kind of the clincher that something was wrong. This story, though, I think is perhaps in keeping with, if not Holmes's general tone, then perhaps Doyle's. Doyle did a lot of adventure stories, and they actually, in the 1930s, and we played this episode way back in it was a pre-Rathbone Bruce episode even, called the Hebraic Breastplate, which was adapted from a Doyle story about a museum and archaeology. So this was not far off from something that Doyle might not have written, albeit he may not have had Sherlock Holmes as the protagonist. All right, listener comments and feedback. Dawn says, listen to your podcast all the time at work, but I'm still catching up. The ones of the old Nero Wolf radio program are what attracted me to Rex Stout in the first place. Are you going to be doing any more? I plan on donating as soon as work picks up, but how about now by spreading the word to everyone I can? Well, thanks so much, Dawn. I appreciate that. In answer to the question about Nero Wolf, as of right now, there are no more old-time radio episodes of Nero Wolf to podcast. There are certainly quite a few lost episodes. There's only one from the Sidney Green Street era, but there's one whole series over the New England Radio Network, as well as that's completely missing, and then two other series that's 25 episodes apiece are missing. So I wouldn't, if they show up and they're in a format I can do them, I'd love to, but for now, that's all they're going to be for Nero Wolf. Then finally, we have one more comment I want to get to here. This one from Danielle, who writes from Enumclaw, Washington. I listen to Sherlock Holmes, a Sherlock Holmes story every night as I drift off to sleep. I've even used them in my classroom to help students hear the story, not just see it. Great tool. I definitely agree there's a power to audio dramatizations. Probably when I was in college studying Shakespeare, one of the big highlights of that time was when the professor actually went ahead and played recordings of Shakespeare's plays. It did help it to come to life. Sometimes particularly when you're adapting literature, there can be just so many distractions and so many things that just feel like, okay, what was this about here? And I think, of course, he had us actually watch the Roman Polanski version of Macbeth when he was doing a movie in class, and that had issues. But audio versions, when he played audio of the plays, I thought that definitely did help come to life. So thanks so much, and thanks for what you do as a teacher out there. And that will actually do it for today's episode of The Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. We'll be back tomorrow with yours truly, Johnny Dollar. And then join us next week. We'll be getting into our listener support campaign. And then the week after that, of course, we have, we'll be announcing some of the shows that we're going to have coming up next season. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all your financial support. Here now is today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, The Bobby Foster Matter.
John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Walter Jackson, Johnny.
Oh, hello, Mr. Jackson. How are you?
No, not too good, Johnny. That is our company, isn't it? If you're not on a case, I'd like you to conduct an investigation for us.
I'm at your service.
Good. Our company writes a group health and hospitalization policy at the Riggs Bearing Company.
Where's that?
In Riggs City, Florida. Florida employs 3,000. We cover the employees and their families.
And?
We've just received a claim on behalf of a Bobby Foster, the child of a machinist of rigs.
For what?
An operation involving a team of neurosurgeons and technicians that had to be flown to Rig City by chartered plane from Boston.
What do you want me to do?
Dr. Grant Howell, director of the Rig City Hospital, attached a report to the claim. A report which we think bears investigation.
Okay, I'll get right on it.
Fine, Johnny. And don't spare any expense. If Dr. Howell's report bears out, there's a vicious racket spreading. A racket which victimizes children.
At this point in our program, I'd like to give you something to think about. Probably one of the most quoted Americans in our nation's history is Benjamin Franklin. It was Franklin who said, "Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." And never leave that till tomorrow, which you can do today. And, of course, the Lord helps them that help themselves. But probably one of his most familiar quotations is, "There are only two things in life of which we may be certain: death and taxes." Of course, what bothers most of our taxpayers is that death and taxes don't come in that order. But seriously, one of the biggest jobs handled by the Secretary of the Treasury is the collection of taxes, our government's main source of income. The government raises money through the Bureau of Internal Revenue, which collects income taxes, excise taxes, amusement taxes, and other federal taxes. The Bureau also checks to see that you haven't paid too little and, believe it or not, that you haven't paid too much. Another way the government raises money is through the Bureau of Customs, which levies taxes on imports which are sent here from foreign countries. But although the Treasury Department collects the money, it is Congress, the men we send to Washington, who actually says who will pay taxes and how much. And that's one thing from which none of us can escape.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, National Medical and Hospitalization Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Bobby Foster matter. Expense account item 1, $85.56, plane fare and incidentals between Hartford and Miami, Florida. Item 2, $2.60, bus fare between Miami and Rig City, a spick and span little town with coral white streets shaded by tropical trees. I registered at the Kachubi Hotel, then went directly to Dr. Howell's office in the modern air-conditioned hospital.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
May I help you?
I'd like to see Dr. Howell, please.
Well, the doctor doesn't see patients after 5. I'm afraid you'll have to return tomorrow. Unless it's an emergency.
Well, I understand it is. My name is Johnny Dollar. I'm representing National Medical.
Oh, gee. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Is the doctor in?
Well, he's looking in on a patient, Mr. Dollar, but he expects you.
Oh?
The insurance company phoned you were coming.
I see.
Pretty awful what happened to little Bobby Foster. I've never seen Dr. Howell so upset.
Just exactly what did happen.
You don't know?
Not the details, no.
Well, if Dr. Howell is right, it's terrible. He'd better tell you. Won't you sit down, Mr. Dollar?
Oh, thanks.
Cigarette?
Oh, thank you.
You see, I heard some matches.
Oh, here you are.
It worked.
Hang out the flag.
Well, how do you like Rig City, Mr. Dollar?
Well, I haven't been here long enough to know. How do you like it, Miss...
Rogers. Flo Rogers. I haven't been here very long myself, just a little over 2 months.
Oh?
Oh, I like the sunshine, the clean streets,
But what?
it's a little dull.
Well, is that so? Well, maybe something can be done about that, Miss Rogers. It is Miss, isn't it?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Sure.
I'm glad you approve.
I not only approve, I applaud.
Oh, on behalf of the citizens of America, I thank you. Oh, that must be Dr. Howell. Excuse me? Doctor will see you, Mr. Dollar.
Thank you.
Oh, come in. Come in. Have a seat.
Thanks, Dr. Howell.
Well, your company acts fast. Only mailed that claim day before yesterday.
National Medical feels it's an unusually high claim,
You're
Doctor.
suggesting I padded it?
Oh, certainly not. But a team of neurosurgeons flown down from
It's
Boston.
necessary to save the boy's life, I assure you.
Well, don't misunderstand, Doctor. National Medical isn't challenging your professional opinion.
I should hope not.
The report you attached is what interested my company.
It should. Should interest the whole country.
I didn't have the opportunity to read it, Doctor. Perhaps
It's
you...
a potential child killer, Mr. Dollar. A vicious, unscrupulous racket, capitalizing on panic, fear. Come with me. I want you to see what they've done to an innocent child.
Bobby Foster?
Yes. Any change, nurse?
No, Doctor.
No. There he is, Mr. Dollar. A 5-year-old boy, victim of a panic-stricken parent and a criminal operator.
What are his chances?
We won't know until he comes out of coma, if he does.
And then?
For complete recovery, no chance. For partial recovery, a fair chance. Bobby Foster will be paralyzed.
You said a criminal operator. Who?
If I knew, Mr. Dollar, I wouldn't bother with reports to insurance companies. I've been a doctor 40 years now. Seen a lot of pain and tragedy. But this...
Let's go back to your office, Doctor.
Sorry, Mr. Dollar. I must be overtired. Shouldn't let these things get to me.
Well, after seeing that boy, I can't blame you. Cigarette?
Yes, thank you.
Now, let's have the story from the beginning.
Well, we had a polio scare here recently. Some of our children came down with fever, headache, sore throat, symptoms resembling polio.
Was it polio?
No. But to confirm my diagnosis, I called in a polio specialist from Miami. Meanwhile, epidemic rumors spread through the town. Parents got panicked. He held a mass meeting.
For what purpose?
They demanded I inject every child in town with gamma globulin.
That's the polio preventive.
Yes.
And did you?
Certainly not. Gamma globulin is impossible to get unless a genuine polio epidemic is threatening. The government has to ration it carefully because one whole blood donation is required to manufacture a single injection. You know how many demands there are on the whole blood supply these days.
Of course.
Well, to get to Bobby Foster's case, I was called to the Foster home last week. Found the boy in a coma. He had all the symptoms of embolism.
Of what?
Cerebral embolism, caused in this case by an air bubble entering a blood vessel and being carried to the brain.
Well, that would cause paralysis, wouldn't it?
Yes, and possible death.
And so you called in the neurosurgeon?
I didn't feel qualified to undertake such a specialized operation.
Well, just how did the air bubble enter the boy's bloodstream?
Through criminal carelessness, by way of a hypodermic injection.
Any proof?
Well, the needle mark's still on the boy's arm.
And you have no idea who injected Bobby?
None. But I know this. Other children in this town have been injected, too.
Oh?
In their cases, fortunately, no harm was done.
Well, surely Bobby's parents know who injected him.
That's the wicked stupidity of it, Mr. Dollar. They deny the boy was given any kind of an injection.
But you think they're lying?
Of course they're lying. The boy was running a fever. The parents thought it was polio. They panicked, took him to some quack for an injection of what they were told was gamma globulin.
At a black market price, no doubt.
To a frightened parent, price would be no object, Mr. Dollar.
Well, I'll see the boy's parents. They can be persuaded to tell who's behind this racket.
You're wasting your time, Mr. Dollar. I've tried repeatedly. They refuse to admit their responsibility.
Afraid criminal charges will be brought against them?
Perhaps. But they have another child, a girl, 7.
You're thinking the girl has been threatened if the parents talk?
I wouldn't put anything past the ghouls who operate this racket, Mr. Dollar.
Yes, it would figure, Doctor. Well, thanks. I'll check with you if I turn up anything.
Just do that, Mr. Dollar, and be careful.
I always am. And you ease up, huh?
He's very perturbed, isn't he?
Well, he has a right to be, Miss Rogers. Do you have the Foster's address?
Oh, yes. I prepared it for you. Here you are.
Oh, thanks. Well, I'll take a run over there now.
I wish I could help you.
You've been very helpful already.
No, I mean really help. If there's anything I can do, anything you need or need to know.
Well, I could use a little background information, about the town and the people. I tell you what, why don't we have dinner tonight? Then I can get the rundown on Riggs City and a little nourishment at the same time.
Well...
You have another engagement?
No, I haven't. It's just that... Well, I didn't want you to think I was angling for a date.
Oh, now, look, I have a pretty good memory, and I distinctly remember that I asked you to dinner.
I know, but...
I think it's your civic duty to dine with me.
Well, if you put it that way. As a good citizen, how can I refuse?
That's the spirit. You name the place.
Well, there's a restaurant called the Tropics, a bar and grill sort of place. It isn't 21, but it isn't bad either.
I'm with you. What time shall we meet?
Around 6.
I'll be there if I have to crawl.
All right, but wouldn't a taxi cab be more practical? See you at 6.
I left the hospital with the sound of Flo Rogers' laugh still rustling in my ears. It occurred to me that Riggs City might be a very pleasant place under different circumstances. I hailed a cab and ran up expense account item 3, 75 cents. Fare and tip to the Foster's bright little cottage, a stone's throw from the beach.
Yes?
Mrs. Foster?
Yes.
I represent the National Medical Insurance Company.
We have insurance where my husband works.
Just a minute, Mrs. Foster.
Please. I said we already have medical insurance.
Yes, with my company.
Oh,
I'd like to talk to you. May I come in?
no. That is, my husband is
It'll only
home.
take a minute, Mrs. Foster.
If it's about the premiums, I can't help you. They're supposed to be deducted from my husband's paycheck.
It's about Bobby.
I can't answer any questions. You have to see my husband.
I think you have the information I need
What information?
about the injection Bobby had.
He-
The one
he
that nearly
didn't-
caused his death.
No. You're wrong. Bobby didn't have an injection.
Dr. Howell says the needle mark is still on the boy's arm.
No.
Is someone threatening to harm your other child if you talk?
Please, go away. Please.
You have a moral obligation, Mrs. Foster.
I can't answer any questions.
Other children are being victimized, too. Could end up in the hospital like your son. Only half alive because their parents were panicked into buying phony drugs from the black market.
We were so worried that Bobby had polio. So worried.
Who gave Bobby the injection?
I can't tell. I can't.
You've got to tell.
But our little girl, Margaret, they said they...
That's enough.
I didn't tell him anything, Edward.
Get inside.
Where's Margaret?
Inside, I said.
Oh.
So you're Bobby's father.
That's right, mister.
I'm Johnny
I know
Dowd.
who you are, insurance company detective.
Investigator.
Have it your way, but get off my property.
Did they threaten your little girl if you talk?
I'm warning you.
You can get police protection, Foster. Just name the man who gave Bobby that shot.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, you get off my place.
Use your head, Foster. You're covering up for the worst kind of scum. Talk. You owe it to your son, to the other kids that are being victimized.
All right, Dollar. I warned you to get out.
Now, don't be a fool, Foster.
I warned you. Get up.
I didn't come here to brawl with you, Foster. I'm investigating...
I said get up. Get on your feet and clear out of here.
Since you asked me so nicely, sure.
You know, many great men have attained the highest office in our land, the presidency of the United States. Can you guess the name of this man? He was our second oldest president, being elected for that office when he was 66 years old, and our only bachelor president. In 1828, he was appointed minister to Russia by President Jackson. In 1856, when he became president, differences between the North and South caused much unrest in his cabinet and in the various departments of the government. While he was president, the Confederate States were formed and the Civil War began. If you don't have his name by now, here are two more important clues. During his administration, the famous Lincoln-Douglas debates were held, and the first Atlantic cable was laid. Who was he? James Buchanan, 15th President of the United States. His life is part of your American heritage.
And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. My face and my clothes were pretty much the worse for wear. I went back to the Kachubi Hotel for a shower and a change and a little elementary first aid. It helped, but not much. What with one thing and another, it was nearly 7 o'clock by the time I got a cab and ran up expense account item 4, 85 cents to the Tropics Cafe. I spotted Flo Rogers in a corner booth. Well, hearty greetings and humble apologies.
Good evening. Don't apologize. After all, you're only an hour late.
I'm sorry. I had a little repair work to do.
Repair work? Johnny, what happened to your face?
I was overmatched. I lost the decision, and it wasn't close.
Someone beat you up?
Well, that's one way of putting it. Mr. Foster did the honors.
But why?
He thought I was a little too inquisitive.
Oh, Johnny. He must be an awful man.
No, he's a frightened man. Frightened out of his wits. His little girl's life has been threatened.
What? How do you know?
Mrs. Foster was on the verge of admitting it when her husband barged in.
Oh. Oh, well, what are you going to do now?
Starting tomorrow, I'm going to question every parent in town.
Do you think other children have been injected?
Well, Dr. Howell thinks so, and it figures. A group of grifters move into a family town, spread polio rumors around, then make a killing selling phony gamma globulin shots to parents who are scared silly for their children's health.
Johnny,
Yeah?
you're going on with this investigation?
Why, certainly.
In spite of what's happened to you already, you're determined to go on?
Why, sure I am. What are you driving at, Flo?
I guess I'd better tell you then.
Tell me what?
Well, tonight when I first came in, I sat at one of those little tables near the bar. See, that one over there, behind the jukebox.
Yeah? So?
I heard the bartender whispering to a man.
Well, what did he say to him?
He was telling him where to take his child for an injection.
An injection? Of gamma globulin?
I think so. I couldn't be sure. I couldn't hear everything he said.
Where did he tell the man to take his child? Did you hear that?
No, I told you he was whispering.
The man he was talking to. Is he still around?
No, I don't see him.
Did you know him?
No, it's just one of the customers.
Okay. Thanks.
Where are you going?
To dig my elbows in that bar. You run along home. We'll have that dinner some other time.
Promise you'll be careful.
On my honor.
I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
That makes two of us. I settled on a stool at the bar and ran up expense account item 5, $10.70, for more than a few double bourbons, with which I slowly drank myself into a mood so dark that my neighbors moved to the other end of the bar. Hey, Skinny. Come here.
Name's Mickey, sir. I told you before.
Well, I'll show you this. So what? Well, don't just stand there, Skinny. Fill me up.
I think you've had enough, sir. You need a cup of coffee, black.
What I need, you can't get for me, pal. Nobody can.
You sound like a man that's got woman trouble.
What do you mean, woman trouble? Why, my little wife is the finest, sweetest...
Yes, sure. You're crazy about her and the kids, too.
How do you know I got kids?
Well, you're the type. Family man.
No kid.
No kid. Now, look, I'll get you that coffee and then a cab to take you home to the kids. Okay?
Okay. Hey, wait a minute. Come here.
Yeah?
You're a swell guy, Skinny. You understand when a man's got trouble.
Yeah, sure. Forget it.
Just that my kids are sick. Wife is worried half out of her mind. I had to get out of the house. Had to get away for an hour.
You say your kids are sick?
Yeah. Wife's scared of polio. What does the doctor say? Oh, a lot of mumbo-jumbo. Everybody knows there's a polio epidemic in this town. The doctors are afraid to admit it, because they can't get the stuff to stop it.
Gamma globulin?
That's the only thing that'll save my kids, the only thing.
Listen, mister. Maybe I can help you.
Huh?
Get you some gamma globulin.
Where? Where, Skinny? I'll pay anything. Anything.
Here. Go to this address. The porter there will tell you where to take your kids for the shot.
Oh, thanks, Skinny. Thanks.
Name's Mickey.
Oh, sure. Mickey. Don't worry. I won't forget you for this.
I'm not worried, mister.
I left the Tropics bar and piled into a cab. On the way to the address Mickey had given me, I stopped at a highway diner and ran up expense account item 6. 30 cents for a carton of steaming black coffee. Not that I was in need of sobering so much. I just wanted something to take the sudden chill off my spine. If you've ever had a date with a grave robber, you know what I mean. It was 2 a.m. when the cabbie dropped me at the driveway of what looked to be a deserted beach house. I paid him off. Expense account item 7. $1.20 tip and fare. And started up the drive toward the vine-covered gate.
That's far enough, Dollar.
Who's there?
Oh! Just shut up or I'll snap your neck, Dollar.
Foster!
That's right. Don't give me any trouble.
Okay. Ease up, whatever.
You come along easy and no funny business?
Yeah.
All right. Put your hands behind your head. Clasp them. And don't turn around.
Okay.
Where's your gun?
I didn't bring one.
You got less sense than I thought, Dollar.
I had my reasons.
Let's go out the gate. My car's down the road.
Foster drove away from town, using the back road. A tire iron clutched in one huge hand in case I got ideas. Once, out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw the big guy's lip tremble, like a scared kid. He finally pulled up beside a long, sleek auto trailer, parked in a lonely beach cove. He motioned me out and followed me to the door.
Hello, Jonas.
Well, Flo.
Surprise.
No. You're working with a bartender, aren't you, Flo?
Of course. He's my husband.
Oh, it figures.
Oh. Someone will tell me, Johnny. And please be good.
Just as long as you have that gun pointed at me.
I'd hate to, but I'd listen.
That figures, too, Flo.
Foster. Wait in your car.
Oh. Cozy, these trailers.
Mickey and I like this, huh? Sit down, Johnny. I'll fix your drink while we wait for it.
No, thanks.
Oh, you're pouty. You're disappointed in me.
Not very.
Tell me, why weren't you surprised to find me here?
On the way over here, I got to thinking. This afternoon, when I met Foster, he already knew my name. I hadn't given it to anyone but the doctor and you.
Careless of me to mention your name when I warned Foster you were coming.
Just what kind of a hold have you got on him?
His little girl.
You've kidnapped her.
Oh, no, Johnny. We're just keeping Margaret for a little while. You see, the Fosters have been very responsive to Mickey's warnings. But then you came into town.
And drastic measures were in order.
We haven't harmed Margaret.
How did you get her?
Foster came by the hospital after you left. See his son. He left Margaret in the waiting room.
And you phoned your husband?
Mickey's wonderful with children. She was tickled pink to go for a soda with him.
Real sweet people, you and Mickey.
We really hate this, Johnny. Believe me.
Yeah, sure.
What happened to Bobby Foster was an unfortunate accident.
Who gave Bobby the injection?
Mickey. I can't stand the sight of a needle.
Some sweet wreck.
Oh, we do very well. Traveling from place to place, taking jobs.
Following the epidemics like a pair of buzzards sailing astray.
Self-righteousness doesn't become you, Johnny.
What do you charge for a shot?
$50.
What's in them?
Nothing harmful, just colored water.
And once in a while, an air bubble.
That was an accident.
I'll take the gun, Flo.
Oh, Mickey, I didn't hear you drive up.
Everything all right?
Foster did exactly as he was told.
Good. Flo, Dollar, you play a lousy drunken father.
I'm usually better. But tonight I didn't extend myself.
Huh?
I had a hunch you'd want this meeting to take place before I started questioning the other parents in town. Because you knew I was bound to find a mother or father who'd identify you two.
Ah. Then you've been willing to make a deal all along, huh, Dollar?
Well, let's say I hated to spoil your fun. Especially clothes.
What's that correct mean?
Ask your lonesome wife.
Don't listen to her, Mickey.
She plays a very convincing bachelor girl.
She's trying to make trouble.
A little too convincing.
Shut up, Dollar.
And she talks a lot.
Talk?
She told me everything just now. Even that you've done away with Foster's little girl.
What?
I didn't. I said, Mickey, behind you.
Come up. A gun, Foster.
Shoot, Mickey, shoot.
I'll take the gun, Flo.
Let me go.
Now sit down and behave.
You hurt me, Dollar.
Give it to me, Dollar. The gun. I'm going to kill him.
No, Foster.
Give me the gun,
The
Dollar.
girl's all right.
I said this.
You understand me? She's all right.
You said he killed her.
Well, I had to. It was the only way I could shock you into making a move.
You're not just saying it, Dollar. Margaret's really safe.
Tell him, Flo.
Yes. She's all right.
This case deserves publicity, Mr. Jackson. Lots of it. Scared parents make easy dupes for operators like Flo Rogers and Mickey. And when innocent kids end up the victims, it's intolerable. Dr. Howell tells me that all the gamma globulin manufactured goes to the Office of Defense Mobilization, where it's distributed to local health departments, who in turn pass it on to MDs only. Expense account item 8, $94. Bus, plane fare, and incidentals between Riggs City and Hartford. Expense account total, $196.96. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Welcome back. Well, solid radio program. This one with a warning, a cautionary tale about the dangers of fake polio vaccine. And this is an instance, and we've heard it if you've listened to the Dragnet show, of radio serving as a public service, particularly radio mysteries and detective shows, to tell of the type of scams that are going on to protect them from some of the more brutal of the con artists. There were a whole series dedicated to this concept. On television, it was Racket Squad. And on radio, there was a series we're going to play called Easy Money that exposed the scams of a variety of people with a special emphasis on the gambling scams. But other shows such as Dragnet, The Man Behind the Badge, and the Treasury Men in Action show would also have these mentions of scams and protecting and informing consumers. This sort of educational type of entertainment has kind of gone by the way. Now, perhaps one reason may be that prior generations' cautionary tales had the desired effect. They weren't. The more inventive con games have been quashed, and people much more skeptical, much less likely to believe, take everything at face value, thanks to entertainment efforts. Another possibility, though, is that TV crime shows would eschew a frauds case for something far more glamorous and exciting, such as murder or some sort of sex crime. I may be a bit cynical, but I tend to think that the latter may be more true than the former. All right, well, that will do it for today. We'll be back on Monday with another episode of The Adventures of Frank Race as we begin our listener support campaign. Join us on Friday for another episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Also, if you have the app or the premium site, be looking for Evangeline, this month's app extra for John Lunn. In the meanwhile, send your comments to box 13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter, Radio Detectives, and call us 208-991-4783. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. This is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. This is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. This is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.